Hi folks, just before the episode begins, I want to let you know that this was recorded before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out and before the allegations came out against actors such as Jonathan Majors and Tina Huerta and the like. Just to let you guys know that while we do praise their performances in this episode, we absolutely do not condone their behaviour. Thank you.
Scenes, mate. Nice up saying mate.
Mate? Nah, it's natural.
This is part 2 of the Marvel MCU tier list. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back.
If you haven't listened to part 1, I highly recommend you do it. You might be a bit lost.
I'm a bit lost. You don't need to listen to it if you don't want. I'm not your dad.
Yep, whoever you say.
Graham might be.
It's possible, I guess.
Enjoy, folks.
Oh.
Okay, and now we get to the wastelands. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in phase 4 and Graham is leaving the room. At this moment in time, the door is open, he's walking out the room.
are about to get
I think
spicy.
we're about to get a bit spicy, yeah. So, we're sort of a bit complicated here because I've got this release order list, but it only lists the films, not the TV shows.
We'll come back to the TV shows, I
So
guess.
yeah, we'll do the TV shows separate.
Okay.
The first film was the belated Black Widow.
Yes.
I think we'll agree with this one easily.
I think so.
I think this is definitively mid.
I'd say so. I mean, Scarlett Johansson has this movie, right, and she's upstaged completely by Florence Pugh.
This movie is Florence Pugh's
Actually
movie.
not a Black Widow movie, yeah.
Yeah, I am, and it's going to become no secret that me and Graham love Florence Pugh.
Yes.
Such a good actress,
Absolutely.
so beautiful, just the best, and she is so good in this film.
Absolutely, yes.
David Harbour,
David Harbour,
really good in this film.
Everyone.
Rachel Weisz.
It's not the Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett
isn't
is
great,
good,
right?
but it's not the best.
Everyone
Black
else
Widow.
is somehow better than her.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the movie has got a nice vibe about it. I do like, I mean, I guess
It's quite chill.
it's aping on my
know?
Winter Soldier love. It's spy.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like we're
I
all
can see that.
we're malicious.
Yeah.
We're doing naughties.
Definitely not helped by it
It's-
when it came out. As
Yes.
we said earlier, we mentioned earlier that it was a bit late. It should have come before, but they just couldn't fit it in for some
Exactly. Like it really should have not came after Endgame.
reason. Yeah, because it fits in with Civil War.
It does fit in with Civil War. Aye, it does fit in really well with Civil War. I like the opening gets a lot of credit for this. Mind it's that weird. The montage till like smells like Teen Spirit, but it's really edgy.
Ooh.
And you have that like the
She's escaping.
No, when she's getting sent to the Red Room and her and her sister are getting packed into the crates and Dreykov's like pulling them out one by one.
Oh
And,
yeah, the title screen.
aye.
Yeah.
And it's so edgy and it's really good.
It is.
I just don't think they really followed through it, to be honest. They didn't go as hard on the theme as they could.
Yeah. I think honestly, the villains are good.
Ooh.
I called it early.
That was bold claim. You called it early.
I called it
I
early
d- we-
because in the fight scene on the bridge, I'm like, that's a woman Taskmaster.
We said this, we discussed this. I actually never called it, which is weird because everyone else says that. I never called it.
I was like,
I'm surprised you said the villains are good because not a lot of people would say that, and even I don't really agree.
It's one half. Taskmaster's good. Ray Winston isn't.
I'm the complete opposite. I don't hate Taskmaster as much as other people do,
Right.
but I agree that that's just not Taskmaster.
I think it's a waste of Taskmaster.
The waste of Taskmaster. There's a lot of theories and people having ideas about how they
Olga
can
coming
redeem
back.
them going into Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. If they, even if
If
it's
it's-
still just Olga Kurylenko, like
even
female
if it's not,
Taskmaster,
if it's the mantle, whatever, even
Yeah.
if it's Olga coming back.
how they
that'll
do
be
it, if
fine.
they redeem it, I'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
Ray Winston isn't good.
I think he's like just total mustache. His accent's all over
I
the
think
place, bro.
that's so good though. I think
I mean,
it's
it
so
might
good.
be. I mean,
He's
I'm
like-
happy to see Ray Winston in anything. Right?
Yeah, Ray Winston's just having a great time being like the most obnoxious.
Yes, and he is
You-
just a villain.
I think when I watched it, I'm like, Ray Winston is the most evil MCU villain.
Definitely. Like, Red Skull's on this.
Yeah, Red
He's
Skull.
worse than Red Skull.
It's like a Nazi,
Yeah.
and he's worse than Red Skull. Like, I think of like Malekith, and I know he was like just a shit tier villain, but his like characters like that who are like, I'm going to destroy the universe,
Yeah.
but they're like always driven by something. Ray Winston is just like, I want a little,
villain.
I want to just have a group of like sexy assassins,
Yes.
and we're gonna like fucking kill people. I'm just gonna have a lot of power, and I'm gonna abuse them, and I'm a fucking psycho.
Literally.
I thought that was amazing.
I mean, he's good. He's just no for me.
He's just
I don't-
ridiculous. He's absurd. I like that the Red Room was flying. I know this is me just highlighting
that's
a
cool.
concept.
And the whole like ending action set piece is kind of nice.
I think it's quite good in a lot of ways. I like the post credits
The post credits
with
That's nice.
Florence being sent away by the Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Was this her first appearance?
Julie, no, because I think Falcon came out before this.
No. It didn't. No.
Then it must be.
Because I'm pretty sure that was the whole thing. It was like, oh man, it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus for the post credits.
Must be then. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
After WandaVision.
You know what it was? This was our first appearance because we found out her name was Val, but we didn't really know what that was.
Wasn't clear.
And then it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's
Right,
like Allegro de Fontaine.
Yeah.
But like, we knew that because people were like, oh, if it's a shady lady called Val.
It's this.
But I like that. Yeah. I mean, it's still mid though.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's Scarlet gets outshined. There's never any high highs. There's just all the cool moments.
Yeah.
The best bit is all the stuff with Florence Pugh.
And the fam.
Yeah, I think the best scene's probably like when they're all together and they're having the dinner.
Yeah.
There's good jokes and there's good drama.
That's great.
But
It never gets better than that.
it never gets better than that. I think it's maybe C tier behind Captain Marvel.
I would put it ahead of it, but I'm okay with that.
Right. Then
Eternals, man.
then we have Eternals.
A movie.
I love Eternals
You
so
do.
much.
Unabashedly.
Unabashedly love Eternals.
I think it is just a bit long in the tooth. It's a bit meandery. I think it's not that, I don't think it's necessarily bad, to be honest. I just don't think it's my vibe for some reason.
Yeah.
I just didn't really like it as much as I wanted to. I think this is where we start to see, like, the directors get a bit too much control and it doesn't fit necessarily with what they want to do later overall with the MCU. And I mean that in, like, Kevin Feige letting them go because he trusts them to be doing something great.
But then I don't think, how would you? Because I think we can't say that until we've seen like Eternals
You
2.
might be right. I will hold judgment.
Was this not Chloe Zhao? Was she not like, oh man, I'm big on Denis Villeneuve in this?
Yeah.
And then Denis Villeneuve was like, I hate Marvel movies, and then Chloe Zhao was like, oh man, I was really inspired by Denis Villeneuve. He's like, I like Chloe Zhao though.
I mean, I think Chloe Zhao is probably a great director.
Nomadland, eh?
I just don't think this was a great movie.
I just simply disagree.
That's fine.
I think it was a bit too long.
Right.
And I think like, there was a bit of an imbalance between some of the characters, but
Okay.
I think it was fascinating in the attempt to create a grand separate mythology. For them to say, like, yep, you've seen all of this, but did you also know there's giant space robots
And what they
that
do,
make
they
planets?
see planets.
I want to get it on record that the Celestials in this film are some of my favourite things in a movie.
And the things.
And that sounds weird, but like every time the Celestials come up and the scale of them, the first time you see Arishem and it's just like, I think it's just Cersei and it's just his entire face is the screen.
Yeah.
So good. His voice is so good. And then the later scenes where it depicts the scale, the ending where he comes against them all, everything with the Celestials is so good.
Yeah.
I really love the
I
ending,
love them,
the ending fight with like Tiamat coming out. I love a lot of the character stuff. A lot of people complain about Richard Madden being like stilted, but a bit like Captain Marvel, it's completely sensible because you find out, oh, he's literally a robot. He's literally dogmatically believing it, but you see him sort of like have his love for Cersei breakthrough. I love shit like that.
I think the cast is really good.
The cast is insanely strong. I think just if I had to have gripes with it, it's slightly too long, and some characters were given maybe a bit less time than others. Another weak major villain. Like I know the Celestials not the main villain, but then complete wasted Skarsgård. Bill,
as
Crow, the leader of the Deviants.
Yeah.
He's just a much more better character comic, and this time it was just
feel like I would have
CGI
rather
man.
just had more of Icarus being the villain than the
True.
Deviants.
I think the Deviants need to be there because they're crucial to the Eternals and they make sense for the lore and that. But I think the need of them to have a big, angry Deviant baddie to fight at the end and just defeat the Deviants was unnecessary because they should have given more time to Icarus and the Celestials. But I don't know what it is because I do think when I think of the way I think I should hate it.
Right.
But I just really like all the characters. I really like all the set pieces. I like the progression of the plot and the getting the band back together.
Right.
Each character is very cool and individual and has their own like special power. Kumail Nanjiani is fantastic.
It's great, yeah.
Barry Keoghan.
Yep.
I thought he was really great.
He was good.
I think it's an underappreciation of Angelina Jolie, but she doesn't die, so for me she could probably come back and keep doing good.
She's got like an interesting thing with like the what do they call it?
The Mad Weary, where she's like slowly going insane.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of thing. I don't know how much they kind of deal with it. I can't remember much of them doing with it.
I don't know if they like cure it or something. She has a weird interaction with Crow, and I think it's supposed to mean something. In the comics, she gets like married to Crow, but obviously the Crow's dead now. So
right. Yeah, I'd like to see that kind of explored a bit more.
There's a couple of them don't get good enough. Gilgamesh and Salma Hayek, Ajax.
Yeah.
They just don't really do enough with them in my head. I do like that they return to Salma Hayek. Yes. And they sort of facet the character a bit, which is fine.
Well, that's when Icarus turns, right?
Yeah, we see like the flashback, her getting killed, and then
like
we sort of start to grasp what she was dealing with as like the person who talked to the Celestials, as Cersei begins to it.
Like knows it.
But the problem is when you start to tell a lot of a character's stuff outside of their own viewpoint.
Right.
I'm like, it's cool that I'm hearing all this facets to Salma Hayek. I kind of wish I would have seen this through Salma Hayek.
Yeah, like acting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's cool that we now understand the shit that she had to go through as the pure progenitor, like the speaker of the Celestials, but I didn't actually ever see her deal with that in the way that Cersei had to deal with it. But I don't know, man. I think it was really bold. I think it was a swing.
It's certainly a swing for the fence.
I think in the grand scheme, it's not the biggest hit. I loved it more than I think it is good, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But I think it gets not as much praise as it deserves, and I'm not saying you're not giving it enough, I'm saying in general I think people have been a lot harsh to it. First MCU movie to get a Rotten Tomatoes Rotten score? Nah, I don't think it deserves that.
Okay.
Well, think about the movies that don't get a Rotten Tomatoes Rotten score.
Yeah, I think it's weird how they score it, to be fair. So
I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. I don't really trust reviewers. I'll literally hear reviewers' opinion and maybe like try and dissect that in relation to my own opinion. But like, I hate having to go. Here's like the galactically appointed council. We asked a bunch of people who are totally real people on the internet what we thought of the thing, and now objectively that's how the movie is rated. And everybody's like, they made Eternals rotten. MCU sucks. Woke liberal agendas got owned. It sucks and I hate it. But I don't hate the Eternals, and I refuse to put it any lower than a B.
Okay, I'm happy for you to have it here.
Do you like it more or less than Thor Ragnarok?
I probably like it more than Thor Ragnarok.
Do you like it more or less than Thor 2?
I don't think I like it more than Thor 1.
Well, I'll take your excuse and then put it in front of Thor 2.
Okay.
But I will not put it in front of Thor 1 for you.
It certainly needs a rewatch. I have rewatched
You do need to rewatch it.
none of the Phase 4 movies except for Black Widow, and that's only because I had to watch it twice.
Me too, to be fair. I was watching it with my partner and our best friend. I'm sure I've seen No Way Home twice. Have we not seen? I went to see No Way Home in 4DX. Mind?
Yeah, I think I've seen it twice. Yeah, I've seen that twice. Of course I've seen that twice.
You would have seen it twice, come on now. I don't rewatch movies all that often, so it's not really like my thing to rewatch movies, so I don't really feel...
Man, I feel like I need to. I forgot a lot of stuff.
I think the one I've watched Spider-Man Homecoming like 4 times for some reason.
I've seen that a few
People
times.
kept going like, man, I'm going to cinema to see Homecoming, do you want to come with me?
Sure.
I think I went with you, I went with my partner, I went with my dad. That's, I think, like 3 separate times.
I mean, it's a good time.
It's a great time at the movies, that. I think I've seen No Way Home twice in cinemas as well. No, Far From Home. I know I just said No Way Home, but also Far From Home.
I remember we seen it and I was just looking at you in the last scene.
Did you? Because you saw it first.
And I was like, you'll love this.
You need to go see it, and I did, and that's a really great ending. There's a whole great, we're nearly there though, I promise. But before we get to that, there is the sleeper hit.
It is actually a bit of a sleeper hit.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, I hope I'm pronouncing that
I really
right.
expected this to be as good as it was.
I don't know if anyone did, but at the same time, I think we all hoped. I think we were all like, this is Phase 4's coming out, and it's a brand new character.
Yes.
It's a kung fu film.
These are the movies we're liking. Eternals, I don't know what they've done there. That's an intro movie that didn't work for me. But Shang-Chi is right back on form.
I kind of want to put Shang-Chi at S.
I bet him he does as well.
Like the lowest S, but I think Shang-Chi was incredibly good.
It was.
It had a brilliant cast of characters, great chemistry between the actors.
Awkwafina and Simu Liu.
This was my introduction to Tony Leung.
Oh, what an introduction it was.
He was so good.
Great in this film.
I think even if you don't like Phase 4, discounting Eternals, Phase 4 probably has the most consistently great villains. There's up and down moments, but like Phase 4 is like...
It's a villain that's
Tony
good
Leung,
because
like
the whole arc's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I think if a complete portrayal of a great villain with meaningful... It's like Killmonger, honestly. Maybe not as strong as Killmonger's presence, but like...
On that rail.
You get what he's up to.
Yeah.
You get the whole facet of his entire being. Tony Leung is just a great actor. He just acts the hell out of it and he's great.
Yes.
I love the stuff with his mum.
Yep.
There's a scene where they have a fight and they fall in love. Every fight scene is great. The choreography is so good. It's off the chain.
Actually great that they don't like cut the scene.
Aye.
Like it's actually...
There's a lot of just long fighting.
Actors acting the fight.
Aye. There's just long fight scenes of actors fighting each other.
At the end, sure, we need to go crazy CGI.
Big CGI dragon and a big CGI bat.
But every fight up until then is just a great time.
Mm-hmm. It's just really well done. Aesthetically brilliant. It's got really like the pits, the highs and lows, like the bus fight. It's like just a really great concept.
Yep.
His sister's club and like the pure dingy club.
Yeah.
Also shout out Wong and Abomination. Then the fight on the outside. But I think that's my favourite fight. It's the scaffolding fight. Because it's just so creative with what they do.
The fight with Tony Leung and the lady from the inside of the forest.
Wait, Shang-Chi's mum?
Yes.
I can't remember her name, unfortunately, or the actress, but yeah, that like pure dance fight is so good. Then Ta Lo is like beautiful and vibrant and has all these like funky characters.
Yes. And the boy comes back.
Michelle Yeoh's in this movie.
Michelle Yeoh's... Is that maybe who he was fighting?
No, he's the sister of that lady. Mind you, they go to Ta Lo and she's like there and she's like, I'm your auntie.
Right.
Yes, the boy, Trevor Slattery, the Mandarin, comes back, which is good. It's very good that they were like, we're going to put the real Mandarin in.
Yes.
So we're going to directly address that one. Expertly done. I will say I love that he's confirmed for Wonder Man.
That's wild.
That is wild to me.
Wonder Man's a character I know nothing about.
I only know that he had a thing with Scarlet Witch, so they better get fucking Scarlet Witch back in.
Damn, man.
I'm putting it the lowest of the S's, but I think I'm putting it an S because it's like Black Panther and it shows the abject strength of a very well written, great vision intro movie.
Yeah, I'm happy with being an S.
I think strong. Then,
oh man,
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Oh, we're getting there, bro.
I wanted to love this movie.
It's one of my favourites. It's one of my favourites.
I wanted to love it so much because
you're
not
a
only
Doctor Strange
am I a
boy.
Doctor Strange fan, I love Sam Raimi.
I'm
a fan of Sam Raimi.
I'm a fan Raimi.
Yes, I'm a fan Raimi. This is a movie not helped by its marketing.
The marketing was the biggest enemy of this movie.
This is one of the movies that I can't remember what the other thing was that I was like overhyped for. I built this up so much in my head that it's going to be more than it was, and it wasn't that.
Yep.
Now that's probably because Sam Raimi didn't know how to do that.
Yes.
And because of the marketing.
I think the marketing was really bad for it. I was fortunate, I think, because of Ultron. I think Ultron was the thing that made me
check yourself here.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, there was all the leaks and the teases and the trailers. I think I was always able to go, do you know what? I'll take what I get.
Yeah.
And what I get will probably be great. But you know what? I'll just get it what I got.
Yeah.
And as a result, I was so happy with this movie. This is this is like top 3, top 5. I think top 5 favourite movies. I need to like sit down and whittle it down at one point, but Sam, it's probably the first movie like where you really feel the director's thumbprint. I'm not saying other ones don't, and there's obviously James Gunn-isms, Taika Waititi-isms, everything, like all the back time, but you can tell this is a Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah.
It's got the zoom in on the eyes, it's got like the camera movements, it's got this fading transitions.
Triangles everywhere.
It's so it's got touch angles, doesn't it? I feel so bad because I know people don't, but I love it. I think Benedict's great. I think the character stuff's great. I think people get pissy, and even Benedict gets pissy because Doctor Strange doesn't really have an arc in this movie,
right? And
he doesn't really go anywhere as a character majorly, other than trying to deal with like his feelings about Christine. And I agree that is a bit of an issue that he doesn't have a prevailing arc.
Yeah,
I'd say the main character of this movie is Wanda.
I would say so, and I think that's what drags me out of it, I'd say, because I think a lot of what they do in WandaVision is stepped over here.
Well, I think, right, and we'll talk about, well, I think we'll maybe, okay, we won't talk about WandaVision next, we'll go to the TV shows we get there, but you need the context of WandaVision, but...
You definitely do it, but I feel like they ignore a lot of it.
A really interesting comparison is The Last of Us.
Right.
And I won't talk about it because of the show and spoilers, but Last of Us 2... takes a lot of what happens in Last of Us 1 and sort of makes you go, by the way, you were doing a bad thing then. And you kind of find it hard to agree with because you like Ellie and you like Joel. WandaVision ends sort of like with you sympathising with Wanda, but ultimately Wanda did kidnap her entire town and like fucking mind control
them. We know at the end of WandaVision because she was sad. Yeah. And she's also she's got the Book of Evil, and even in that show like this is the spooky evil book, and she's like embracing the spooky evil side of herself. It's just I actually don't think the fault lies in Doctor Strange. I think the fault lies in WandaVision. I think WandaVision should have pushed further that this is where Wanda was going. Right. Rather than, I think they should have made it a bit more implicit that Wanda's sort of taking a darker turn. I think so, because at the end of WandaVision...
You almost feel that Wanda's like maybe going to come back as a hero. You feel like she's on a righteous path.
She's definitely... Well, the vibe you get is that she's understood what she did was wrong and she wants to change it. But then in the credit scene right after that, she's got the dark hold. Yeah.
I think they should have just established it more in WandaVision that she was going on a darker path because that would have better led us. I think though that's a consequence of the schedule shift. This was at the height of COVID, moving everything about. Yeah. And they did have to rewrite a bunch of things. Apparently the Doctor Strange was going to get referenced in WandaVision, they had to take him out.
I think this is, we'll call back here to Ant-Man. I think if Scott Derrickson directs this movie, it's way more violent and crazy than it is right now.
It was a very violent and crazy movie, bro.
It was pretty crazy, right? But I think it might have been... I would have liked to have seen it.
Scott Derrickson wanted to make it more of a horror directly.
Yes. I would have liked to have seen it. I don't think we'll ever see it, obviously.
No, unfortunately.
I would have liked to have seen it though.
Well, apparently I'm still talking to them about like if we ever want to bring him back. I don't know.
I don't know why they needed a name though. I don't know why it had to be Sam Raimi.
Well,
I get he's a big fan.
I think it's because at this point we were like investing in the auteur.
I think so. I think that's what Phase 4 is really.
I will say they're probably thinking about Sam Raimi because of No Way Home at this point as well.
Maybe.
People talk about Sam Raimi. I mean, people were always wanting Sam Raimi to direct more superhero films.
Yeah.
And they were like, alright, we've lost the director this one. We're trying to get big names on it. Who else can we know that does superhero movies that's not currently doing one? Or Sam Raimi? Or Spider-Man. So yeah, I get what you're saying a wee bit, but I think it's not the most egregious thing.
It's definitely not.
And I mean, you like horror more than me, but I disagree with you. I think Sam Raimi's version is great. I think my most controversial opinion is I love Wanda unabashedly and I can completely follow her arc.
Yeah.
I think they needed to establish it more at the end of WandaVision going at the start of this movie, how exactly it was working. But if you give yourself a sec to go, she did a bad thing at the end of WandaVision and she's got the dark hold makes her evil and she's embracing that side of herself.
I guess it's
if you
I just don't want to accept that the book's making her that evil.
I guess. I think
feel
it's.
like
I
it's
try
too
not
much
to allow
for her.
myself to believe that it's just the book. I try to allow myself to believe that it's like she is also.
She does definitely want
The
kids.
book is amplifying this
Want the kids.
tortured side of her, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you accept that it's like, yes, the book is doing a bad thing, but she is the one making the decision to. It's not that the book's doing it for her. She's doing it, and the book is just making her worse.
Yeah.
And I love her for it. I think Elizabeth Olsen gives a fucking performance in this movie. All the stuff with the kids, like at the end. See the bit where like they see her as scary, and she like sees them seeing her as scary.
Yeah.
But then also all the dialogue. The bit where she attacks Camartage, she's so great. I
That is
think
a good scene.
the bit where she purely goes in, like
Sneaks
sneaks
in.
in and like whispers the guy, I
That's
fucking
great, yeah.
felt that, bro.
That's good, yeah.
I was like, that's so good. I think the multiverse stuff's a bit weird because they just throw multiverse things at you. There's
Right.
2 montages of just different multiverses, and then they really specifically stay in that one multiverse.
Yes.
Again, I'm getting fanboy to fuck here, and I'm gonna in the future of this podcast complain about pandering to fans.
Yeah.
And yet, despite that, I loved everything with the Illuminati. I loved Patrick Stewart in the X-Men chair with the 1960s X-Men theme. John Krasinski was Mr. Fantastic, like Rasper. Fucking Anson Mount from the Inhuman series.
Oh my god.
The best bit of the Inhuman series, they brought him back and they made him better. Haley Atwell as Captain Carter.
That was the best bit, aye.
So good. Complete fan service schlock. And then you watch them get brutally murdered. Just the most violent thing possible. Sam Raimi's like, kill those motherfuckers. So yeah, I was really satisfied with a lot of it. I don't even know, I guess that's bad. I think CGI is a bit hokey at some points.
That's death. I mean,
Even though I said I
want to say it right, the end of this movie, see the post-credit scene, it looks awful.
I don't agree that it looks awful.
The eye looks awful.
I was able to accept it more than a lot of other people, but the more I look at it, especially with the context of other movies,
Yeah.
it doesn't look good, to be honest.
I think this is when they're starting to overlook people.
Yes, definitely.
Because I just don't think it looks great.
Although, Charlize,
they're on. As Clea,
happy.
I mean, listen, I think about the track of this movie is it's not enough about Doctor Strange. But see if Doctor Strange dies and Clea has to be Doctor Strange, I'm happy with this.
Yeah, I mean, I love Claire. I love Claire's run as Doctor Strange.
Yes.
I'm excited to see Doctor Strange 3 if it's confirmed. It's going to have to happen. They can't just leave that.
Surely
They surely have to follow up on that.
I don't know where it fits in.
True.
With this,
There's Phase 6 is just a bunch
now.
of empty movies, so.
Yes, but I don't know where Dormammu's going to fit in Secret Wars.
That's true. Maybe maybe the Dark Dimension will show up in the middle of Secret Wars.
Maybe.
One of the things that gets mushed together.
I'm excited for where it goes though. Because I can't fault Benedict. I can't fault the 2 seconds that Charlize Theron was in this movie for. So I'm excited to see what they do.
And I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, Chavez was great. Sorry,
I don't know when I want Wanda to come back.
She wants to come back. Elizabeth Olsen said, I don't know what. I just want to come back.
I don't know when it'll be or why it'll be.
I think she should come back as a consequence of like multiverse shit through Secret Wars.
Maybe.
Maybe we get like a good Wanda.
I would like her to be involved.
I'd rather we redeemed her Wanda. I know you might think that's not possible because she literally blew up Black Bolt's brain.
Maybe.
But
I could see that. I would much prefer if from now on she's involved with the mutants when they come in.
Yes, definitely.
That's the way I would like it to go.
Linking into that. Because I think Wanda does go dark. Like, we forgive Wanda for like No More Mutants. We forgive her for like House of X.
It's a constant question they ask themselves.
Aye. I mean, there's also that constant thing of like, you always think Wanda could be a baddie as much as a goodie. You know Wanda's done bad things. So I think redeeming our Wanda slowly but like powerfully and having her maybe...
I don't even think you need to necessarily redeem her. Just make sure it's a question the characters are asking themselves.
Even if they don't bring back our Wanda, like, maybe if they somehow manage to get a version of Wanda in that is like, man, can we fully settle with her? And she has to be like, you know what, you might not be able to fully settle with me, but I'm going to strive to do good. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this film. I think it's goofy and hokey and silly and so funny and so stupid.
Damn.
It's so stupid in the right ways. I'm not gonna rate it too highly. And I know you. I think I want to put it at the top of B tier.
Oh man, I'm actually happy with being in B. I was going to put it in B somewhere. I'm happy with that.
Are you happy with top of B tier?
I'm happy with being in B. I don't know where I put it in B tier, but I'm happy with just it being in B. Doc 2.
I knew I had to put it in B. What?
Doc 2, man.
Doc 2. Doc 2. Doctor Strange, and he is inside the multiverse of madness.
It is inside.
And it was a mad multiverse.
It was.
Okie smoky. So, not this, because next is...
It's Thor Love and Thunder.
No,
Yeah.
shh.
Yeah,
it's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Is it?
It's
Was this not before Doctor Strange 2? I think it was, wasn't it?
Oh god, I even forgot about No Way Home because No Way Home does come before Doctor Strange 2.
That's the best one anyway.
Sorry, our list is missed here. Right, okay. Sorry, so before Doctor Strange 2, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Right, No Way Home. It redeems it all, you. It saves Spider-Man.
You were so jazzed on this movie. We still
yes. I really am, because they brought me back just when I thought it was out.
Right, they brought me back in.
Yeah, it fixes pretty much all the issues I had with Tom Holland as Spider-Man in this film. And it's a weird thing because they didn't want to do Ben again, but instead we just got a trilogy of Aunt May being Ben.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. We finally get a Sinister Six, kind of.
Sinister 5.
Yeah, we kind of get them.
And also Venom is there. Oh god, we're going to address the Venom situation.
There. They really do it, and it's so good to see them do it in a new way. That's what I think. When they do 4, just do something crazy and weird and different. And I'm fully on board with it. I'm here for it. Come on.
There you go,
Why
guys.
not?
Get the jackal in. Get the fucking progenitors in, is it?
Literally, aye, sure.
The inheritors.
Get the inheritors. Get more.
Morbius.
Not Morbius. No.
Get Morbius, Jared Leto.
No. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I go back and forth on it. No Way Home is excellent.
Yeah.
Very, very good film. I think, regardless of you say it redeems it, I think it works great as a cap.
It's definitely what redeems it for me. Mm-hmm. It's a great continuation.
Aye, it redeems it for you because you didn't like them. But for people who did like it, it still is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a cap. It makes as we said multiple times now, it makes every prior thing better.
Yes.
It improves on every way. It just reflects the journey that the characters have all taken to get there.
Yeah.
It trusts you to know where the characters are at because you've seen so much of them. It's just really powerful. It's every character at their best. The best sort of depiction of Spider-Man seen from Tom. The best, like, Mary Jane. I mean, she's not Mary Jane, obviously. She's Michelle Jones. Like, she's the most MJ.
Yeah. The relationship through the movies, through the trilogy, has been great.
Yes. I think that's a great movie for them both as well, especially. Doctor Strange is, I'm going to quickly mention just that he's good in this movie.
Yeah.
He's got the fight between him and Spider-Man's great.
Yep.
I think him's great. Him being like not the Iron Man mentor figure, but still being another senior hero who's got like important lessons
he's
to pass
less
on.
of a mentor and more of a, like, we're kind of partnering up.
An elder. He's more of an elder. He's not. I'm not here to teach you, but I'm here to show you how to do it right. I am right than you.
Yeah.
But that's just Strange's arrogance. I
suppose. And it's great to see them together because they like each other in the comics. They team
true.
up a lot.
It's true, and I think they do like each other by then. They're so good at the end. But obviously, the comebacks.
The comeback tour, man.
Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, a CGI recreation of Thomas Hayden Church. Allegedly, that was actually Risa fans. He had like a new line.
Let's go.
Or something, but I also hear it wasn't. It was another recreation.
Right.
I initially was like, I kept going back and forth because I'm excited to see them, but is it just going to be like blatant fan service? And my biggest issue was, I think in my head, I was like, I kind of want to see what the MCU's version of these characters are like.
You will get them eventually.
Maybe, but even then, I think if you just, for example, what they do with Green Goblin in this film is great. The new design is better, perfect for the comics. Right. I mean, like his treatment of the character, the back and forth. Sort of how he almost, like, it's kind of like in the comics, Norman Osborn was like that for him, was he not? Where, like, he was like Peter's pal until he just wasn't. Until he was like, no, I'm actually the evil motherfucker.
It's done a lot of times.
Doc Ock was perfect as accumulation of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Electro's better, objectively. They take all the good stuff from the Sam Raimi ones and they continue, and then they take all the bad stuff from the Andrew Webb ones and they make them better. Like, they're all great in this. Jamie Foxx is so redeemed in this.
It's really good.
I think every character is depicted well, even if they have to fart them out, even if they just rely on you going like, that's the one from the old movies and you should have watched the old movies.
Yeah, I think everyone did too.
Yeah, you kind of had to. I mean, me and my partner sat down and watched all the old movies to get into it. You have to know, and they were so good to see them back, and they really were operating on top form.
Yes.
In every way.
It's absolutely the peak of the MCU for me.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Literally, like, I mean, it is really good.
It is. Everything is so good in that
And then, of course, I mean, forgot to mention...
Man, you couldn't not mention...
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. The leaks were real. They denied it, dread it, run from it.
Yep.
Destiny still arrives.
Literally.
Which I believe was a line that wasn't actually in the film.
Probably not. Yeah, Andrew Garfield, again, he's my favourite. I think he shows in this movie
opinion.
I think he shows he's in this movie why he's the best. Toby's like that kind of old head, good guy.
I really do like Toby as the old age mentor. I like Andrew as a deliberate consequence of what happens in Amazing 2.
I think he's like, I just love Andrew. I think Andrew's the perfect version. I think he's the perfect casting for
I do think he was the perfect casting for it. He was just putting a severely poorly written movie.
I would love to see more of him, but I just don't think that's ever going to happen. And then Tom's a great guy, great choice for it.
Aye, I think Tom's great for what they've made out of him, and they'll keep pushing him further, and who knows where we'll go when we get to the new movies.
Could be doing it for I don't know how long more. I'd like to see a few more at least.
I don't agree with that Andrew's the best, but I do think Andrew is really good. And I mean, they're all in plain form here. Like, they're just all so good. And the power of those things, it's another monumental moment with those characters showing up.
Yeah.
You know they're going to have to show up, and when they do show up, it's like, oh my god, it's him. And he starts talking, he just picks it back up. Like the bit where Andrew just comes in, he takes the mask off, and you're like, Andrew Garfield, and he is back.
He's back. He's here. He's in the web.
He just gets back involved.
Yeah.
And he just starts being Spider-Man again. And
it's
Toby.
just there from where he was before.
It's so good, and it's complete fanboy, but like, you know what I mean, it's back to me as it though, because Spider-Man is a multiversal character.
Absolutely, and there's many times where there's many Spider-Men together.
Yeah, so I actually even think it's fine.
Fully buy it, definitely. I think, yeah, it's great. The way they show the responsibility lesson again, but this time actually show it, and the whole Aunt May stuff.
Aunt May as Uncle Ben, I think, is a beautiful twist.
It's really good. I didn't see it coming, and then when it happened, I was like, "Oh my god, this is really good."
It's like they got to have their cake and eat it. They got to avoid doing it blatantly, and he still do Uncle Ben, and even though he didn't do that great power, great responsibility, he can still be that meaningful thing of like a guy who let die because civil fucking war. They established Uncle Ben in civil fucking war.
Dead,
when you don't do the things that you like, when you're the person, people get hurt. Exactly. So we know Uncle Ben is probably there. He probably died because Peter probably didn't help him.
It's just that Aunt May, this one,
because we knew her and we built her, and you know, as you say, they really very visibly show what she's talking about. J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, man.
J.K. Simmons. I mean, he was Far From Home. Obviously,
perfect casting. He is the only guy.
I love how they bring him back, and it's not even like a multiverse thing. It's just him again
because you can't not.
He is literally perfect. I'd say he's even like Robert Downey Jr. level.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, I know I said 3 maybe 4 because J.K. is defined that character.
Yes, absolutely.
So good, and yeah, I mean, it was so good. So good.
Definitely.
I'm a big fan of like just fucking abuse me with Easter eggs. Like I love when the skies open up and you're like, there's a lizard, there's Craven, there's Black Cat, there's 6-armed Spider-Man, I think.
Maybe. Who knows?
There's like the Rhino, but like the real Rhino, not like the Paul Giamatti Rhino.
Yeah.
Spider Slayer, I guess.
Oh, Smythe, let's go.
It was very good. It was very, very good, and I would put it in S tier.
Absolutely, it's the top S for me. If not, that's behind Infinity War. For me.
Will allow that. Yes. I will let you do that.
Thank you.
I think I would personally put it behind Endgame, but yeah, it was very powerful, and it really hit every beat it needed. It really. I mean, you might disagree with this, but I think it's actually the best Spider-Man movie, and I think it captures them pretty much the best next to Spider-Man 2.
Maybe.
But I think the Spider-Man 2, there's something about the essence of that movie. I think Spider-Man 2. Sorry, yeah, I lied. Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie.
Right.
But I think there's something about what they do in No Way Home with the characters that feels great, and it might be because
you've seen 1 to 3 and Amazing 1 and 2.
Yeah, and because you've built on it, because you've seen so much of Tom Holland's one. You know, it might be that, and I might be letting the general vibe of it colour my opinion. But I think No Way Home is really, really great.
Honestly,
does everything.
It's
really
certainly
great.
in that conversation for best Spider-Man. If it's not,
aye, if it's not the first best, I say it's the second best.
Right.
Because I mean, Spider-Man 2 is so excellent. It's just a great movie. So the next movie after that was Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
And then the next movie after that
was
Thor 4 Love and Thunder.
Thor 4 Love and Thunder. And
what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up Thor 4 Love and Thunder. I'm going to put it absolute lowest on the list at the end of D tier because it is without a doubt the worst Marvel film I've ever seen.
Yes.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't. You and I can't disagree here. I knew it wasn't going to be what I wanted. I wasn't prepared for you not to like it. I was just warning you that it would be.
But at this point you were more harsher on Ragnarok.
Yes, I watched Ragnarok before we saw this. I remember saying, I like Ragnarok a bit more now, but you will see what I mean when we see this movie.
Yes.
Because Taika Waititi just wants to joke. I even see this in this Mandalorian episode where it's jokey.
Oh, you don't like that bit? You don't like the start of the Mandalorian episode because it's just the two troopers talking?
Troopers, yeah.
People love that and you don't?
It's fine, because it's like a Taikaism. And I think Taikaisms can work. I've not seen Jojo Rabbit. It might be great.
I need to watch Jojo Rabbit, aye.
But in this context, see if he's writing Ant-Man, it might be great, right?
That's a really good point,
but for me, this is another thing. For me, as Thor, I don't like the direction Thor is going.
They have pushed Thor too far. And yeah, as Graham said, like, he didn't expect me not to like it.
Yeah.
I loathed this movie. I was excited. The trailers were like interesting. Christian Bale is gone. I'm like, okay, let's go.
I think he's wasted, but that's not his fault.
I think he's wasted because by the script.
Yeah.
I think Christian Bale's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
I think he's great as Gore, but they just don't do him right. The fundamental issue of this movie, as you said, Graham, is Taika just wants to do jokes. Jokes. This movie really undercuts every narrative beat with a joke, and it sacrifices the impact of pretty much every meaning for a joke.
Yeah.
Even when people sit and they tell me, oh, the bit at the end's really nice though, like where he sacrifices Jane, I can't stop thinking about the Hammer thinks he's cheating on them, or Stormbreaker's like, oh, you're cheating on the Hammer, or the fucking goats
The goats thing, they just right. The hammer stuff I can kind of get because Thor's kind of weird like that, I guess.
Yeah, but it's still stupid though.
It's dumb, yeah.
But to be fair, that was like understandable. The goats
The goats.
truly abysmal.
Just why does that need to be there?
The goats are a worse MCU villain than fucking Ray Winston.
I mean, have
like,
it once is fine.
How if once
But if
is like
you
maybe I'll laugh at it.
Yeah,
To have it be the crux joke of the movie,
as a joke, yeah.
everything about it, the plot is so bizarre.
It's crazy. I think you just can't. I think it's bogged down because it's trying to do Foster Thor.
It's trying to do Jay Foster
and it's trying to do
Gore the
Gore.
God Butcher.
I think you need one or the other.
And here's what's weird, right? This might be a strange opinion because we've obviously previously talked negative about Natalie Portman. I actually do think Natalie Portman as Jane Foster Thor in this movie is good.
Yes.
She looks great and she
Yes.
acts great and she
Yes.
fits the character. But they completely squander her character.
Definitely.
Squander her completely.
Yes.
They don't show us her becoming. They cut the scene of her becoming Thor out, which like they were like, oh wait, to preserve the reveal of her, but we already spoiled the reveal in the trailers.
Yeah.
So we want to see that empowering moment. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure in the comics she doesn't just straight up immediately die of cancer.
No.
Like I need to double check what they do with that character and how they factor her in with Thor
ends?
coming back. Aye.
I don't know. I haven't got there yet.
But like either way, I think about the original run.
Yeah.
And that was just so good.
It's great.
Like with what they did with Jane and this movie to just have Jane die anyway. And like I get they're trying to make all these points about love, but the message was so muddied because it's not a logical progression of Thor for where he was at the end of Endgame. To have him turn and be like, no, my real issue is that I need love.
Yeah.
Do you really need love?
Come on, Thor.
Like, and then like the Guardians were wasted.
In this movie.
The Guardians fucking shop and disappear.
Yeah.
Korg is in this movie too much. He should have died when he gets blown up. He just should have died.
Probably.
Like, he shouldn't have just become a face. Obviously, representation's good, but I feel like they're like, oh yeah, the fucking rock face is your gay representation in this movie, you loser.
Right.
Valkyrie was great, but then wasted.
Yeah.
She has
Yeah.
fucking nothing going on with her. They just squander her. Everything with Zeus and the other gods was just blown out the water, wasted. I think that's one of the most wasted things I've ever done.
Probably. I mean, there was such cool. There's so many things you could have done there.
Well, the problem
Already
is that they had all these
in
great
relation to other
designs and
things.
great presented concepts, and then
Yeah.
they just never touch on any of it. Apparently, the fucking person that sat in front of Thor is Bast.
Who knew?
But like, oh, it's just literally Black Panther's god, and we're just gonna have her be like a lady
We'll never
stood
mention
there
it.
staring.
Yeah, I would have liked them to shout stuff like that out.
Yeah, or like
Maybe
they
let us
draw
know.
attention to some of the things that really do matter.
Yeah.
Aside, even though like they have those two Celestials,
Yeah.
which make no sense that they look like that, because that's not how the Celestials look. But also, as a Jack Kirby fan,
Look great.
I'm really happy those Celestials were there. I guess maybe they can explain it because like those Celestials are also visibly smaller than like Arishem and that, so maybe there's like tears. But yeah, like the resolution at the end where like they just like convince Thor to like stop Gore, and like he wishes for love back, and now Thor's like a dad, and then they let Jane die anyway. Like no, just use the wish to cure Jane's cancer
Exactly.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I
And
think you can. You honestly don't need to see this movie, and if the things that happen at the end of this movie are called, just accept it and move on.
Yeah, if you like
Don't
get
ever
to
watch
like
it.
Thor 4 or Thor 5 and he's got a kid, just be like, it happened in Thor 4.
Accept it.
And the stuff with the kids was weird. Heimdall's kid was weird. That was the movie that I tapped out the CGI as
The
well.
floating head.
The floating head was god awful. The effect of Thor teleporting with the Thunderbolt was god awful.
I think his helmet looks super weird.
The helmet looked really weird because it was just. Well, no, but apparently that was real.
It looks so CGI.
It
though.
looks so fake. This movie is atrocious.
Honestly, it's sad that it's this bad.
It's sad that it's this bad. This was even me agreeing with like, yeah, they've let Taika unbound.
Yes.
Kevin Feige should have been there to stop this from happening.
Yes.
But he wasn't, allegedly.
But I hope Taika's football movie's good.
Yep, apparently our flag means death's good.
It might be.
I just hope Taika doesn't do Thor 5.
Me too. I think.
Yes, Hemsworth
think
can be
he's
there,
done.
but like,
Yeah.
did Hemsworth not say like he thinks he really only has one movie left in him?
I don't know.
Or not even that, I think he
He's
said he
like
wants.
he's probably the last of the old guard, really.
Pretty much,
I mean, like Tom Hiddleston. But
Mark
Tom
Ruffalo.
Hiddleston seems to be keeping going.
He's a fucking lock.
Yeah.
He's replaced most of the new guard now.
Probably.
Yeah, do not watch this movie.
Yes.
It is
if,
bad.
If you would like to see the Gore story and the Jane Foster Thor story, just read them.
Please
They're
read the
much
comics.
better.
Read Jason Aaron's Thor. Oh my god. Luckily, after Thor 4, the next movie was Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
A good one.
Which was
a great way to end. I'd
Very
say.
good movie.
Yeah, a strong end to Phase 4.
Shrine Phase 4. First off, I think they handled the Chadwick thing as best as they possibly could.
I'd say so.
I think giving him like a nameless season, just having him die without us having to witness him die, but then also basically having the whole movie be about mourning him
Yeah.
Because the real world pain that we all feel was the right move. It was very powerful. It was a very powerful movie.
It was.
Very moving movie.
It was. I think it's probably the only way they could have done it.
Yeah.
And they executed it perfectly.
Yep. I think weird Letitia Wright stuff notwithstanding, Shuri was the best choice.
It makes more sense.
She was Black Panther a wee bit in the comics.
I could have seen like M'Baku maybe doing it, but it wouldn't have felt right.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it would have been a bit weird because it's just
Shuri's
like a
arc in
strange.
this movie leads perfectly to it.
Yep, I think Shuri is really well in this movie, especially because she is literally like obviously pushing it away until she sort of has to accept it, but then what she needs for it. This is a movie of actors acting. There's a reason why Angela Bassett's the first ever Oscar nominated. She Oscar nominated, didn't she?
I think she is.
But she's definitely every other award nominated for this movie.
Yep. And she really does deserve it.
She does give one. I mean, I would say there's other performances that do deserve it in the MCU, but Angela Bassett doesn't not deserve it. Like, she fucking acts her ass off this movie. Oh my god, she's so good.
Yes, absolutely. I don't want to say she carries the early parts of this film, but she's really.
She doesn't carry it, but she's the core. Even though Shuri, like you're watching her, she obviously while she's in it, she is like the emotional core.
Yes.
Because she represents Wakanda as a whole. She speaks at the UN. The UN scene was perfect. The bit where Shuri goes and obviously it's another trailer, but the screaming, like am I not giving enough? It's just we're not giving everything. It's just so good.
Yes.
I mean, not every character is given, I think, their due course.
Okay.
M'Baku's doesn't have an arc. He's just sort of there to support.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Daniel Kaluuya couldn't be in this film.
Daniel Kaluuya couldn't make it to the filming of this film.
Unfortunately. Because it would have been really cool to see what him and Danny Guerrero do.
Yes.
Because she get kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. There could have been a whole thing about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Okoye is like good in this film.
Great performances.
She does have she's a great performance, great sort of character moments. I think it's another weird, like it's kind of like the first movie. Lupita Nyong'o's sort of weird because like I feel like she just sort of keeps getting put in the movie and doing stuff.
Well, I think
she sort of gets deployed tactically. She's good.
Yeah, she does just kind of like appear for the plot's convenience in this movie.
Yeah. She's just sort of like there, but not in a bad way. She's deployed tactically in a good way.
Yes.
The thing where having T'Challa's son, I think, was really nice as well.
It's a nice touch.
It's a nice touch. It's sweet.
It's a great way to end the film.
Yeah. Then on the other side,
the villain of the piece.
We have Namor. And Talocan instead of Atlantis.
Yeah.
I want to go out on a limb and say like I can't stop thinking about how much I loved everything with Namor in this movie.
I really liked it. I think I need to see it again to like fully
appreciate the details
see
and that.
what I feel on it.
It's just like the design detail and that. Namor just was done very well. We joked about we were desperate for like sex fiend.
This Namor doesn't want to bang Sue Storm.
I think this Namor does want to bang Sue Storm. Apparently, according to the script, he's literally flirting with Shuri.
Oh, nice.
I think this Namor was great because he was sort of like confident. He was powerful.
Yeah.
He was a little bit sassy.
I think he was definitely like he ruled Talocan.
He had a very great,
very happy and confident in this.
A very great presence.
Yeah.
Tina Huerta just was a great actor. Great breakout performance.
Damn.
So good.
Yeah.
I really like how they just made Namor look how he should, even if it was at the expense of being goofy. They gave him the little winged feetsies.
Yeah.
But
I think definitely not as goofy as another movie.
Oh, bro, no!
Literally no.
I'm so excited to talk about that. But no, I think it was brilliant. I think the decision to just shift Talocan from being just stock Atlantis to being like, okay, well, Wakanda's like super African, so let's pick up like another sort of underappreciated like here's like a minority group, here's like a people who've suffered a great tragedy, and let's really delve into like that sort of like Mayan Aztec type culture. And yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful.
All that stuff was really, really good.
Really built into a great lore. You know what I mean? They built it up really well. And it's one of those almost conveniences. It's one of the easiest conveniences I've ever accepted. See, when they were like, oh, I guess there was just another meteor.
Probably, yeah.
It's one of those ones where like, yeah, I don't see why not. Why did it have to be 1 meter?
Yeah.
There could be another third meteor somewhere.
I don't know.
Man, that's how they do it, bro. Yeah, I mean, it just was so good.
Yeah.
I even like, a lot of people were complaining about it not really going anywhere. But I'm the opposite. There was all the sub stuff with Val and Everett Ross. I think there was some interesting stuff about that because I really think, according to like some rumours and that, and just the way they've been talking, they're going to pay dividends on this whole. There's this sense that the world really is trying to push on Wakanda. You get the feeling of like Wakanda having to protect itself. Yeah, and I watched a really great video about depictions of Wakanda from its inception in the comics, or well, more so in the inception in media that isn't the comics, but with comparison to its comics, and how I think this is Pillar of Garbage, by the way, if you want to watch this. Yeah, this is the name of the Pillar of Garbage. It's a great name, to be honest, a great guy. He basically talks about how Wakanda has agency. So early Wakanda performances actually are like a bit like staunch.
Right.
Like the first ever non-comic appearance of Wakanda, like in a show on that, was the Fantastic Four cartoon.
Right.
And they adapt Wakanda's first appearance in the comics in Fantastic Four.
Right.
But they basically take every moment that a character from Wakanda does something, like Black Panther chooses something, and they give it to the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And there's racial things maybe, but it's more like they just don't depict. The depiction is just an invaded place.
Yeah.
Just
There's
yes,
got resources.
they've got resources and they're smart. But the Black Panther can't protect them, and they're invaded, and they need the help of the superheroes from outside. And this video talks more and more about each depiction, how it gets better, and how Wakanda's more of a force. And he talks about how in Black Panther the movie and Wakanda Forever, it's the best it's ever been, because this is a united force, a cognizant unit of a continent.
Between different clans.
Yep.
They all come together.
Everyone has,
for it.
but even the people within it have their own agendas and wants and needs and their representation. And all of a sudden, this movie, they're representing on the world stage as a force who is acting and who are like defending and having to like contest with these people.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to what I was saying, that's like at least shown by the stuff with Everett Ross. I think that's going to be relevant. There's a lot of rumours about, because we know there's going to be like a Wakanda series. They've always said they were going to do a series in Wakanda, about Wakanda.
Okay.
And I believe that we're sort of locked on that this series is going to be about that. Like about like the US incurring on Wakanda. They just took this movie to be about Namor and that, which was done really well. Every scene, the battle in Wakanda with the flood of Wakanda, all that entire sequence is just sublime to me.
Yes.
When they go under it in the Talokan, the final fight was quite good. I think it was not as good as the earlier fight. Ironheart was in this, and she was quite good.
Ironheart was good in this, yeah.
A lot of people were complaining about her suit, her final suit. I don't mind it because it was like it was a Black Panther Wakanda.
I guess so.
Fucking super suit.
It's a super suit, and we've not seen her series yet.
She jumped very quickly from like trash ass car suit to like she's got like a weird suit from the set pictures I had. But I liked her. I think she was interesting.
Yeah.
I think they've really set her up in a good way, because I think the comics weren't really good at setting up Riri.
I don't think it's more the thing. Like, I think maybe the only good legacy character is Miles Morales. I don't think Riri's done well.
Kamala Khan.
Well, yeah. That one was yeah. Those two are probably the best.
Yeah, although to be fair, and to defend your original point, Kamala Khan's more herself. She takes on the mantle. Miles Morales is literally a legacy Spider-Man.
Miss Marvel was always more of a mantle.
Yes.
Than it is like.
I mean, Carol wasn't even the first Miss Marvel.
Exactly.
Or first Captain Marvel. But yeah, I mean, the one I would compare them to, but yeah, I'd say the main successful one is Miles. Maybe I hear a lot of people talk nice about the guy, the second Nova, but I don't read Champions, so.
I can't remember his name.
Because Richard Rider's the main one, so it's like Richard Rider's like pure like half kid or something. I don't know. I need to look up Nova, because Nova's getting an MCU thing as well.
You could say Falcon, but Steve Rogers comes back so often, don't think that counts.
Aye. So when you say like characters, do you mean characters who take up the mantle?
Yes.
Yeah, aye. I think Miles is the best second character ever. I think the MCU made Scott Lang a great second character.
Yeah.
Because Ant-Man was always Hank Pym to me until the MCU.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right with Miles. But still. You want to talk about Ironheart, aye.
Yeah.
Well, funny because we've got Shuri's Black Panther as well. Yeah. I think Ironheart in this one's good. I think the comics were a bit too, I don't know, when I read the Ironheart stuff, it was like a bit much like she's just the new Iron Man and you just need to deal with it.
Yeah, that's the kind of the one you don't want to see.
Aye, where they're literally just trying to fill the gap. Miles was great because he was like, he has a Spider-Man, but he's like a definition of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But the MCU's...
It probably helped that they existed together first.
Yes, that's true actually, aye.
Ultimately, they had to become it.
Aye, MCU's Ironheart's like good. She's like good, she's interesting. I'm really excited for the show. It's got the Hood, it's got Alden Ehrenreich.
Man, let's go.
I'm genuinely excited for Ironheart. And yeah, so Black Panther 2, I really do love.
I think it's A, I don't think it's S.
I want to put it on S, but yeah, I think I want to put it higher than Captain America 1, but lower than Doctor Strange 2. No, higher than Captain America, lower than Doctor Strange 1.
Right, okay.
Even though I love Captain America 1. It was really powerful, it was really good, it was really moving, but no Doctor Doom, so 0 out of 10 shit movie.
Literally. Oh man, we didn't even talk about fucking Superior Iron Man.
Oh god, yeah, we'll mention that now. I was really on the belief. So obviously all the leaks about who's going to be in the Illuminati was changing. Crazy. Apparently, Daniel Craig, allegedly, but at the very least, Balder was like literally locked in. There's concept art, there's previs, there's literally like CG of Balder. Balder's outfit is real.
Whoa.
And they cut him out at the last minute. There should have been a Tom Cruise Superior Iron Man on the Illuminati. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. I don't need to say any more than that, right?
It just works.
And he even said, I think he was like, they never really asked me. I'm like, they should have just asked him.
Tom, you asked them.
Like, he's clearly real because they've got like good guy Ultrons. So clearly there's a good guy Iron Man in that universe.
Oh man.
Tom Cruise Superior Iron Man should have been in it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna die on that hill. Fuck it, I'm gonna perish on that hill.
Literally.
Right, and then we don't actually have it on the tier list here, but then after that, it is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the start of Phase 5.
The start of Phase 5. I'd say it's a solid start.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear you say that.
I don't think it's a bad film.
I love Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and everyone else in the world doesn't, and I get why they don't.
Yeah, there's definitely things I don't like about it. No, massively a big fan of MODOK.
Oh, I love MODOK. Let's talk about MODOK. He is perfect.
Listen, I know he needs to be dumb.
He looks
goofy.
strange. I think you can't go over how he just looks too weird.
He's meant to look that weird.
But because it's not something that should ever have been translated to real life. So you can never go that way, and that's fine. I allow you, I gift you the ability to that. I think.
But you love it.
I'm so happy that they went for MODOK on the. They were
I respect the like confidence to go there.
Yeah, I think they just realised that they couldn't do it anywhere else, and they're like, if we're going to do it, we might as well do it as hard as we can.
Yeah.
We're going to have a big fucking stretched face. We're going to have the little baby legs and limbs. Yeah. We're going to have him have that. He's going to be an inflated personality, ego dickhead. Yeah. I think MODOK was perfectly done in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I will literally be stood on a hill like fighting legions of people, right? And they're gonna throwing stones at me, and I'm like, get away from me! I'm gonna fight them down because I think MODOK was done perfectly. I think he was done perfectly. I think the movie was very good. It was hard to get into at the start for me.
Okay.
Because at the start it really just felt like, oh, it's just a bunch of people stood in front of green screens.
Right.
But I think the more they took the time to like show the Quantum Realms like visuals, I was able to immerse myself in it and not really care about the green screen because I was just being shown nice visuals.
Right. I would have preferred it not to have been all green screen.
We prefer that they actually shrunk them down to quantum size and we all went down into the Quantum Realm to film that.
That would have been cool, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they would have done it, but
I don't think the technology's there yet, unfortunately.
Probably not.
No, but yeah, I mean, I suppose I need to see sets because how much
I
of it
feel
really
like
was.
They lost me more towards the end. I'm kind of opposite. I was really in, but they lost me more towards the end.
With what?
Man.
With Kang?
Yeah.
Are we talking? Right, let's talk about Kang.
I'm going to talk about the issues. At the
I don't have issues with Kang.
Not issues. Well, nah.
Okay, well, okay. First off,
I don't know if it's a Kang issue.
John Majors
Is the star of the film.
The star of the film.
Him and Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer just coming out swinging.
Yeah, when they say Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's actually Ant-Man and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, it's Michelle Pfeiffer Wasp, which I'm fine with rationalising that. This is a Michelle Pfeiffer movie. She gets a lot of plot. And
It
she's
makes
great.
sense. She is the Quantum Girl.
And Michael Douglas, great. I mean, Paul Rudd and Evangeline are good.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd's really good, actually.
Evangeline doesn't have a lot to do.
It's true. I also want to say, so there's a lot of people hating on Catherine Newton as Cassie.
I think she was fine.
I think she's good as Cassie. My bigger issue is that I recently saw a picture of Cassie every time she appears, and like Catherine Newton does not link in with that.
Like we just need to accept that.
We just need to like accept that she's had severe plastic surgery.
I guess.
But I liked her. But yeah, Kang was fantastic.
Yes.
And I've been very excited for Kang coming up. I'm a big Kang guy. I like Kang a lot. And I think John Majors was fantastic. I think he did everything he needed to do. He was given the right gravitas. Again, kind of with the MODOK thing, the confidence in him to like do the look perfectly. Big green and purple poncho, even with the blue mask. The way they rationalised that, it's like a pure digital mask and they kept showing his real face. Perfect. Fantastic. I think his like sort of ongoing narrative in the film was like really good. And the you know thing with like him and Michelle Pfeiffer, I think that was all like, really interesting. I don't know, it didn't lose me because I everything that was going on for about like wanting to get in the realm of that all seemed within practice. Right. I think I was taken for a lip when they got rid of him. That's the one bit that's like I'm gonna have to see how they handle that because I am a prescriber of I'm huffing copium.
Right.
That they've put him in the battery, but we've already been shown that inside the battery doesn't kill you.
Yes.
So I want him to come back even fucking more angry in Kang Dynasty, and if they deliver on that for me, I will be perfectly happy and satisfied with this film. But what's your issue?
My issue is how we beat Kang in this
How
film.
we beat Kang in this film?
Yeah.
Are you like one of those people that automatically get defeated by ants and that stinks?
No, I don't know, not necessarily. It's just a lot of things where I think we do defeat him too easy, and I don't know if that's the ants' faults.
I think it really does depend on how you look at your definition of defeat. We defeat him in the terms of that he's not victorious in this exact endeavour.
Right.
I suppose I like to believe that that it's very clearly made clear that he's not at his peak. He's been trapped in here and he's had to build his own little army.
Okay.
So the ants versus the army, and that was fine for me because it was just mooks versus mooks.
Right, yeah.
The ants coming back was brilliant, by the way. That was so good. What saved it for me from being too bad was the very clear indication by Scott of like, did we defeat him though?
Yeah,
If they hadn't have made it clear that it was a not entirely confident ending, I would have felt more strongly about it. But the fact they really went out of the way, like, no. Yeah, okay, it looks like we got rid of him, but
are we sure?
is he definitely gone?
Is he though? Yeah, I did like that. I did like the ending.
And then the lead into the post-credits, which, by the way, did you know the post-credits is actually lifted directly from the comics?
Yeah.
There's a Councillor Kang scene. The frame where you sort of see it panning around, you see all the Kangs, it's like a frame for frame.
Yeah.
There's actually even the weird old-faced Kang is based on a weird old-faced Kang from the panel. Will you find it to you at some point?
Why does like every super smart person have a council of themselves in a multiverse?
I think it's because you just do that, don't you?
I suppose, yeah.
When does the Councillor Kangs fight the Councillor Reeds?
Oh, I need to see it. The Maker has to win this.
Man, the Maker's like, I think we have to go there at one point. I was really happy for that scene.
I liked
think
it.
It looks a bit silly.
It does definitely, but I don't know if it definitely makes Kang feel a bit more big.
Yeah, like, oh my god, like, no, like, there are like hundreds of thousands of this guy,
Yeah.
and there's all the little things. So this is a grand fucking theory. There's a Kang in a suit you can see in the middle of the arena. You don't get a lot of focus on him.
Yeah.
There's a variant of Kang called like, it's like, I think it's like something King. Qeng, which is Kang has a lot like aliases that are shit. Like Richard Timely, or Victor Timely, sorry, like come on. So in the comics, that variant of Kang, I believe like basically like supplants Stark Industries or something and like takes over. And two things are happening in MCU. One, someone has bought Stark Tower and we don't know who.
We thought it's Hammer, right?
Two, in the Loki series, which we'll get to, in the scene, in the area where all the displaced, fucked up, you know, the void.
Yeah.
Seeing the Avengers Tower.
Yes.
In that void isn't the Avengers Tower. If you zoom the hell in and zoom it in hands, it's King, it's Qeng.
Oh no.
So I think it's not going to be a Baxter building. It's not going to be an Oscorp. It's going to be fucking Kang. It's always Kang.
Oh no. He bought them all.
I think having Ramatut be there is great. Like being so is bold to be like, yeah, fuck you, it's Ramatut.
Yeah.
And like to be fuck you, it's Immortus. Apparently the third one is kind of not really 100% an adaptation. They call it the Centurion, and it's a reference to the the Scarlet Centurion, who's a version of Kang who's like a big robot red man. I don't really care much for the CGI one, but whatever. I like it, and I like that they've set it up. And John Major's a great actor, and I'm really excited to see how they pan it out in the future franchises.
I'm excited to see him 80 times.
Aye, and then to go out and have a second post-credit scene, which was another Kang.
Yes.
Like, go watch Loki season 2. We'll get Victor Timely, which is perfect, by the way. Having Victor Timely is such a good idea, and having him in Loki is such a good idea, especially with Loki season 1, which we'll get to.
Yes.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was a great film.
But yeah, we can both admit that there is issues.
Aye.
But realistically, what are the issues? You think
My
Kang
issues
went
are
down a bit easy?
Visual, yeah.
What do you mean
feel
visual?
Like just MODOK. And I wish it wasn't like all green screen. That's obviously impossible.
Aye.
But I wish there was a bit more, I don't know, practical stuff happening.
I wonder if they used the volume for Mandalorian.
I think probably did at some point, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, it wasn't always perfect for me, but I think I just sort of I got over the green screen thing because I just saw so many things that made me think, that's cool.
I'll certainly say it's a return to form because after Phase 4 I was a bit worried. Mm-hmm. But I think if it continues at least with this level of quality,
I think we'll give a quick. I want after we're done the shows, I want you to sit down and tell the people what your fucking issues are. No. I think looking at this here, looking at the thing we've got, I would put it above, probably between Ant-Man 1 and Iron Man and A tier.
Okay.
So it's not better than Iron Man 1, but it's the best Ant-Man. Even though I don't believe that. I prefer Ant-Man 2, but you know what I mean?
Right. I'd probably have it probably is an A. I think I'd have it below Far From Home though.
Okay.
But you could put it in there, like above 1.
It's in that area. It's actually a hard one to place. I think we need a bit more time for it.
Could do.
It's not been that long since we saw it, to be honest. It was like a week ago, wasn't it? It was like a week or two ago.
And nothing's paid off for me yet, obviously.
I was going to say, Ant-Man, they've not addressed the Kang thing. It's been 3 days and they've not addressed the Kang thing.
I don't understand.
Shit you.
Literally. There's still a Celestial in the sea.
I hate people talking about that. Shut up about the Celestial. They'll deal with it, man.
Where is Kit Harington?
Right.
Oh, man.
So, that was the movies in the MCU.
Yes.
But
I think we get it. That's a good list.
Where's a good list? What we've personally got? Or I'm surprised that we've only got, like, pretty much everything's a B or above.
Well, the quality, I think, hasn't dipped that much, but I feel like there has been a dip because I think, like, everything up here is, like, 1 to 3. 4 starts come down here, but, like, there's nothing crazy bad.
No, because, like, you're at 4.
There's obviously been more from the first 3 as well, which helps it look a bit better.
I think it's, looking at our list, it's that you need to give yourself some credit for how much of Phase 4's, although we've not put the TV shows in yet, and the TV shows are pretty much half of Phase 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Right, so I'll go in release order of the shows, but I'm going to quickly throw in the specials first. Werewolf by Night, S tier. Werewolf by Night is the little fucking engine that could.
Literally.
How is that property so good?
I really don't know.
I think, first off, the special presentation format is a brilliant idea.
Yes.
It's like longer than a regular episode, but shorter than a movie.
Yeah.
And with a good bit of production value. For them to go out their way and go, we're going to just do a Halloween special and we're going to throw this to a character that's completely unrelated.
Yes.
And you'd think, you said earlier about things that are completely like not attached, can maybe be a bit like uncertain.
Yeah.
But how does this work? I think it's the strength of its presentation as like a one-off. It's very distinctly a one-off.
Yeah.
And also because it's really an aesthetic experiment as well.
Aye, it's definitely its own thing.
It's definitely its own thing. There's
I don't
nothing
know-
like it.
I don't know when it'll tie in, if it will, how it will.
I don't think it ever will, and I don't think it ever needs to.
It probably doesn't need to. If they continue, if they just tap in every year and they're like, we're going to see Werewolf by Night this year.
Yeah, aye, fuck
gonna
it. Let's
see
do
what
like
they're up
Halloween stuff every year. Let's
Yeah.
chuck in like
I
Man
think-
Thing.
I
Sorry,
think it could
swap
really
my TM.
work. I think it could really work. Yeah, it was just it was a good experiment. It worked.
Good. It was a very tight, well written story.
Yep.
Great characters, great visuals. Didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, I think it might only work with these sort of B, C tier list characters though.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you could do a special presentation of Spider-Man.
No, of course not. No. I'm excited to see what Nova's like because Nova's like a bigger name character.
Yeah.
I will say, like Man Thing and Werewolf by Night, there's going to be a new Disney ride. They've announced a new Disney ride. It's a multiverse ride, and it's got like every character. It's got like Man Thing. It's got the cartoon character. I think like freshman year Spider-Man, and the main villain's King Thanos. You know, like old King Thanos.
What?
So that's messed up. I love that. I want to see that. That's going on the tier list.
Why?
But no, I remember we watched Werewolf by Night, and I was like, that was shockingly good.
It was surprisingly good. Yeah.
I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would be happy to see more, especially from Werewolf by Night, even just Halloween specials of that caliber.
Yeah.
Big ups to the Michael Giacchino, one of the greatest composers of the decade, now a director.
Had a great year that year.
How did how did he direct that so well?
I don't know, man.
Man Thing was a suit. It wasn't CG.
That's because he committed to it, I guess, and he did smash it.
Honestly, excellent. Excellent. The aesthetic's so strong, and I'm not even a horror guy, but I appreciated all the classic horror references.
Yes.
It was. Mwah.
Wasn't even just horror, there was some wizardry, wasn't there? As well?
There actually was a lot of wizards. God, I never even realised that. And then, not too long ago, the Guardians holiday special.
Yes.
I think it was good. It's not S tier, obviously.
Nah, I don't think it's S.
But again, surprisingly strong for what it was.
Say so. I'd probably put it in like B seems too low, but I'd probably put it A or B.
I'd probably put it at the lowest A or the highest B.
Right. Yeah.
I put it as the highest B because
The strength of it was really just sort of the family dynamic and the jokes with Kevin Bacon.
the jokes were Kevin Bacon. The strength of this property was Kevin fucking Bacon.
Honestly, that's the strength of most properties Kevin Bacon's involved with.
I love that they just went for it with Kevin Bacon of all people. They were like, let's just do let's get every celebrity folded in as we can. But do you know what? This is going to be Kevin Bacon, like starring Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
And it was good. It was fun. It was funny. It was interesting. It
Yeah.
told a funny little heartfelt story. What it is good, it's good as a Christmas thing. It's one of the ones where I would watch it again at Christmas.
It's got a great song.
It's got a great song. I was about to say that.
Great song.
I was about to say that's such a great song. Yeah, I can't really say much more than that. It was just really strong.
Yeah.
I think it's James Gunn obviously is good, and it achieved, really categorically achieved what it set out to do.
Yeah.
Well, let's just make a fun Marvel Christmas special that gives you the good Christmas feels. It just was.
Christmassy feels.
They just, I don't know, you'd like to see a complete package.
There you go. They got it this time.
They got it. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so, now we're on the shows.
Run the shows.
The shows.
Polarising.
WandaVision was the first one, technically.
Yeah. I think it was.
So, we were also talking about WandaVision earlier in reference to
Doc
what it does in Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
First off, for the first show, excellent.
Aye.
Really, really brilliant thing. Even though it wasn't meant to be the first show. I'm sure was it not Loki or was Falcon? One of those two was meant to be the first.
It might have been. I can't remember now.
I thought WandaVision was brilliant.
It was really, really good. I really liked the episodic. They took advantage of the episodic structure.
Yeah.
Because they just do like the 60s thing, then they do the sitcom thing later, and they just change it up so much in every episode.
Yeah, the stylistic stuff was brilliant. Every time a new episode came on, and like you were excited to see how they did it, especially once it got closer to stuff you got.
Yeah.
I remember like the Mark in the Middle stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I remember
know
that.
this.
Yeah, I feel this.
So yeah, and it was really interesting. And then obviously they build up such a fucking really fascinating narrative. And obviously when the cracks do start to show, you're starting to go like, man,
What is going on here?
what's going on here?
Yeah.
And it does unfurl it in a really interesting way. I like just what it does with the characters of Wanda. Again, as I said previously, I still think it works fine with Doctor Strange 2, but even without Doctor Strange 2, it still was a good Wanda story, a good Vision story to deal with.
I like her in this more than Doctor Strange 2.
That's totally fine. That's totally sensible. I like all the stuff with Vision and like pure Vision having to be like a spirit, then like the actual white Vision, and
when he like figures it out, it leaves him in a really cool place, and I don't know where he's gonna go next.
I think, you know, people keep saying there might be a Vision Quest show, or I think he's going to show up in Armor Wars. I would like to see what happens to Vision. I really like the resolution of the Vision situation.
Yeah.
We're going to shout out Catherine Hahn.
Oh, Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn is sublime in this show. The music is great.
The music.
All the theme songs, it's been Agatha all along.
Agatha all along.
Also, the kids who played Billy and Tommy, the sound guys just told me, yeah, Billy and Tommy, I thought they were really good. The actors really good.
Yeah.
I know it led to a dick joke. Having Evan Peters back at the time was earth-shattering.
It was crazy. No one knew what was happening for a week.
They didn't really do anything with it.
Yeah, they didn't.
But
they might still though.
Yeah, I hope they come back to it. I really think they should address the Quicksilver thing. If they're going to Wanda Multiverse Wanda back, maybe do us a favour, just Multiverse Quicksilver back in.
Come on.
Especially if they do mutant stuff. But yeah, I think it's really, really good.
I would say it's one of the best shows. It's definitely, I think it's A for me, because I think I enjoy shows more
definitely
than it.
S. There is a show, well, you know what show I'm putting on S.
Oh yes.
I think it's high. I think I was going to put it probably between Black Panther 2 and Captain America 1.
Yeah, I don't know why Agatha's getting her own show though, I'm not going to lie.
I don't know either, but then they keep putting things in it that seem interesting. I think Agatha's show is a secret gateway to Billy and Tommy shit.
Right.
I'm convinced that the guy for Heartstopper is playing like a more adult Tommy or Billy.
Right.
People are saying that Joe Locke's playing one of them, and I'm fascinated. I think what happens is we're going to get some sort of like explanation for like... Sorry, I'm going over myself. We're seeing some set footage and like Agatha and Joe Locke are like together.
Right.
They're like working together or something. They're like disguised as well. They're in a mall. I bet you this is like old Tommy or Billy, whoever's the magic one, is like either came to this multiverse or came back to or something to like learn.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I know like about Agatha from my mum when I was a kid because fucking multiverse memories. And I think that's going to get unravelled through the show.
Right.
I want to know who Aubrey Plaza's playing. Aubrey Plaza, who has been cast as the main villain of the Agatha show.
Who wouldn't want to know?
So I'm excited to see. My partner's like big on Agatha, so like I'm happy for her and I'm happy for me, and let's go.
I just don't know why I need this show. I mean,
it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see how it goes.
We're here for it.
Then the second show was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Was it? I thought it was Loki.
No, Loki was the third one.
Okay, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was really good.
It was great.
A lot of people don't think so.
One of my favourites.
I agree with the most prevailing criticism that they really had this bizarre section with a villain who had completely rational points, but they just make them a terrorist, so you have to not like them.
I guess, yes.
And yes, the flag smashing stuff, I get it. I think what makes Falcon and the Winter Soldier great is the strength of Sam's journey. The strength of like that personal journey. You find out more about him. All the stuff with Isaiah Bradley.
Yep.
The complete MCU just fully being like, yeah, racism, that's real.
It's real. Yep, it's there.
That was really brilliant.
Yeah.
I think Bucky was good. I think a lot of people think he's a bit underused in comparison to Sam, but I still think Bucky had a great sort of like...
I prefer Bucky anyway, so...
You like Bucky as Captain America more than Sam. I agree with the people saying that like Bucky shouldn't get the shield because Steve wouldn't want to give Bucky the shield because Steve wants Bucky to get a rest.
Yes.
It's just Bucky that keeps coming back in.
Aye.
But like Steve didn't burden Bucky with that at least. And I think Bucky had a lot of great character stuff in this.
Yeah, I thought the strength of the show for me is the relationship between Bucky and Sam.
And also, I am a big, giant, weirdo love interest for US Agent. I love the concept of the US Agent.
Wyatt Russell's great in this show.
Wyatt Russell's great in this show. He plays a marvellous arsehole.
Does.
It's a really fascinating character journey where you honestly, even though he starts doing awful things, you still get it. You're still like, oh man, he kind of is just like a guy with all this pressure on him, trying to like do what he thinks right to his country, but he is also like a bad person.
And like, he knows he obviously cannot perform to the level of the Winter Soldier who's taking Super Soldier Serum.
Yep.
And he can
has
to struggle with that.
So he has, the way he deals with that, and the insanity section, fucking the bit where he murders a guy, you see the blood in the shield, it's all fucked up.
Brutal.
Yeah, I really thought everything with the US Agent was great.
Yeah.
Zemo trots back, as you said earlier. Zemo's like really great in this.
We see Madripoor.
This is another great integration. Like Madripoor's in it, but like the way the Dora Milaje pop up and like there's a little bit like Black Panther, like Io's there and that, and you're like, man, it's really sensible, it's put in well. Yeah, the thing that really got to me with Captain America and Winter Soldier just was, like, if there was a negative, was just the main villain, I guess.
But the villain does fall out.
I think I'm hard pressed to describe that the Flag Smashers were like the main villain. They just were the inciting force
Right.
They were the driving force, but it was really about Sam, Bucky, and John. So John Russell, Jack Russell,
Jack Russell?
Jack Daniels.
Who knows?
No, it's because US Agent has 2 aliases and they're both alcohol names. It's Jack Daniels.
Probably Jack Daniels.
And there's another one that's like an alcohol name.
Beam.
What?
Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. Imagine. I'm trying to remember people like talking about him.
Captain Morgan's.
Is it not John? It's John something.
I don't know, man.
Whatever. I love US Agent. Cool. The suit, the US Agent suit is, I love it in the MCU. I kind of wish it had the big A on it. Or the big U even, but yeah. And this was the sort of the thrust of, alright, Val's up to something. Fucking Julia Louis-Dreyfus in this, and she's getting up to nonsense.
Yeah.
So this was one of the first ones that got us thinking about Thunderbolts and that. I am fascinated.
I am fascinated.
And yeah, I think it was really good. I think
it's going in a
good direction.
Yeah.
I really like how MCU Sam Wilson Cap looks.
Yes.
It's a great suit.
I like that they CGI'd the neck.
Yes.
That looks nice.
I'm actually quite happy with that as well.
Because it would have looked weird if it was just flappy.
And I think I'm really excited for Captain America 4.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good sounding things about this.
The leaks sound cool. I just don't know how it's going to be. I'm excited for it though.
So I'm happy. I hope he gets like a trilogy, and then maybe he can put it down, keep the Bucky, no more Captain America. We'll see how it goes. I'm just happy that they're carrying on in a really smart way, especially one that's deeply in line with the comics.
Yeah, it's as the story of Captain America goes, I think this is the best handled like progression of the character so far.
Yes.
That we've seen.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. So then it was Loki.
Then it was Loki. I think Loki's S.
You think Loki's S?
I think so.
And
it's because, and honestly, I don't think Loki as a character is actually that good in the Loki show. Now that's because we take him out of Endgame, right, where he's had no development.
Yeah, this is like shit Loki.
And then he sees his life and is immediately turned into the Loki we know and love.
Yes.
So that I'm a bit weird about that still. I don't know if I fully buy it, but I have to buy it to like the show.
I don't know what it is about Loki, but I don't want to put it in S. But
I don't want to put an S. I could see you not putting an S.
I think I would happily put it to like the highest end of A.
Right.
It was very, very good.
Okay.
I think that my favourite part was the aesthetic.
Yes.
The set design, the costume design, the visual effects, the music. Natalie Holt decided to just
was really good.
come in here and be like, oh, what if I just redefine music with this? Plus, you know, I love a theremin, so she put like a synthy theremins and that. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, everyone with the TV, excellent. Owen Wilson,
yep,
excellent.
Yeah, Sylvie was great.
She's fantastic. I don't know what it is that gets me about it. I think I just didn't care about certain things.
Right.
I remember, I really don't think I liked the episode where it was just Loki and Sylvie on that one planet.
On the train?
Aye, and like the planet's blown up and the poor get out right at the end. And I accept that it exists because you just have to have shows with episodes like that where it's just characters talking and feelings developing and that.
Yeah.
I think because it was only 6 episodes, I'm like, did we really need this?
Yeah.
But I think I'm being a bit unfair.
Well, how long is, like, some of them I think were too long.
Shows?
Yeah, but Loki felt right.
I don't know.
Like, I feel like even Falcon and Winter Soldier, I probably could have had like an episode or two less.
Yeah, okay, I can get that. Moon Knight I think was probably a bit too long.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Yes, I'd say it was too long.
I don't know, maybe I'm being a bitch about it. I really liked the ending. I really liked episode 5 and 6 were fantastic.
Yep.
The decision to have a bunch of Loki variants, including like Richard E. Grant as like classic Loki.
Crazy, man.
Sublime. So good. And then of course the build up. And this was before we were really in on Kang.
Sure.
John Major's been cast for Quantumania.
Cast, yep.
But when they were like,
no.
we knew that there was going to be shit behind the TV. People were like, it probably has to be Kang because like the Timekeepers were Kang in the comics. Like, oh, seems Kang, and then turn and be like, He Who Remains, John Majors, and he's just such an interesting presence. Jonathan Majors is just a really good actor.
It's a really good episode.
So brilliant. The final episode of Loki is fantastic, and it is a bit confusing with like what it's setting up for the lore, but it's also very direct statements about what's happening with the lore that gets you interested. Like, okay, Kang will die, and that will make the multiverse more extreme. And
you
also,
need to make the right decision here.
This was around the time of DS2 and Spider-Man No Way Home and that, so it was brilliant. I think the final decision was brilliant, and how both characters approach it, so fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, Kang knew it was happening.
Kang didn't know what was happening. That was what was so good about it. It was so good and smart. I think it just maybe tapered off a bit in the middle for me.
I could see it. Yeah, I could see this one where you like maybe an episode or two has to be cut or like moved about,
or even just different. I don't know. I don't want to put it in S.
Okay.
But I would literally put it on the front of A.
Yeah, I'm happy with it in A. For me, it'll be S though. In my heart.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one after that. Oh, we didn't put Falcon. We didn't grade Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Bro, we just jumped off of it. We just jumped off of it.
That's probably A as well.
Definitely. I'd say probably between Captain America 1 and Guardians, maybe. or between
okay.
WandaVision and Captain America.
Yeah.
Right. So after that, it was What If.
What If? What If was good.
What If
but
was.
I feel like, and do you know what? I just feel like I needed something different. I don't know if I got everything I wanted from it.
Well, I think it really needs its season 2 to come out soon.
Yeah.
Especially because it got chopped. Did you know that? What if season 1 got chopped?
They had like the Sakar episode, right?
Man,
They just had that.
Remember when Tony was on Sakar and they made a Lego set about it? They made a bunch of toys about Gamora and it just never happened. I think I need season 2. I liked What If quite substantially, but it does feel completely out there.
Yes.
But that's the point, I think.
Yep. I liked that every episode wasn't its own episode.
Oh, that too, aye. I like they all came together at the end, but like
Yep,
even then
that
every
was
story
cool.
was individual. Some of them were like great.
I like that we've just got like a What If team now.
Yep, the Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah.
I like the Doctor Strange episode.
That was great. It was a great episode.
Brilliant. Because I'm a Captain America stan, I really liked Captain America episodes. The Black Panther one actually was really good. Chadwick Boseman's last performance as
That
well.
was good, yeah.
It was really
Honestly,
good.
It was just really solid. I'm trying to think
But
what else.
I
really
was
liked
going to
about
say, it's not like... I think it's also we're not fully used to it because it's animated.
it. Maybe. It's the first animation thing, right?
There might be more. But then freshman year apparently just straight up isn't it canon?
Yeah.
If that exists.
That's a strange one.
I think it's just a solid B.
I'd say so.
I think I want to put it somewhere around Guardians 2 and Spider-Man No Homecoming.
I'm happy with that.
I think it was really good. I do.
It was.
What If was decent.
I don't know why we need a zombies show.
Because people just like zombies.
But then like, yeah. Like,
Zombies
okay.
was a good comic apparently. I read it.
Was.
Plus I did like the zombies episode. The idea of them
was a good
exploring the depth of that universe is cool.
I mean, Sorcerer Spider-Man was cool.
So much Spider-Man was
I'm here
cool.
for that.
All the stuff they posted for the What If season 2, like the the zombies concept with like all the different heroes, like
Yeah.
Kamala and that. Right, after that, I think this is literally the right order now.
Okay.
So after that, it was the loathsome Hawkeye.
Yes.
I loved Hawkeye, and I know I said that about every single thing that he said not. But I liked Hawkeye. Hawkeye is definitely flawed.
It's mid.
I will concede the two that it was mid. I will take the L on. I personally enjoyed it, but it wasn't amazing.
I should love this show.
You should love this show.
Because like Hawkeye's based, right?
Hawkeye was in it and he was great.
Kate Bishop's in it.
And she was great.
Vera Farmiga's in it.
Bruce McGregor, she was great.
The guy from Better Call Saul's in it.
He was great.
And the Kingpin's in
And the
it.
fucking Kingpin showed up at the end and he was great.
And I liked like all but like maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Who was 2 or 3? Who did you not like other than Kingpin?
I didn't really like Vera that much.
I thought Vera was good.
Her
I think you
performance
kind of
was
just
great.
want more from Vera Farmiga.
I probably wanted more of her.
You want her
yes.
to be like fucking someone huge.
Yes, I did.
So I'll grant you that, but she was great at what she did.
Yeah.
I think let's just address that. I think the one that we're all a bit stuck on is Kingpin.
Yes.
I am going to hold my tongue until we get Born Again.
Or until we Echo.
Or Echo, I suppose he's an Echo.
Yeah.
First off, he's not dead.
He's not dead, no.
Right, good. You do
he's
that.
not dead.
Famously in the comics, this exact thing happens where Echo shoots him and he's not dead, he just gets blinded.
Yeah.
I liked him. I can understand though, it's a bit of a culture shock.
Definitely.
Because he's in so many ways like he is in the Netflix show.
But also not.
But also not, and you have to sort of try and line that up in your brain.
Honestly, I think if he doesn't get run over by a truck and just gets straight back up, he's probably fine, right? But it's just such a weird thing.
I think they're trying to fold in comic Daredevil a bit more. No, sorry,
Yes.
comic Kingpin. Because like Netflix Daredevil was good because it was so grounded, but the MCU just isn't that grounded.
Yes.
And like comics Daredevil, comics Kingpin is a big thick man
A big, thick,
who can
goofy
like
man.
be hit by a truck and get back up.
Definitely.
I think as long as they just remember to make him
Yes.
so aggressive and intimidating and very focused, then
I think the real test is Echo and Born Again.
yes.
That's when we'll really see.
I'm excited for Echo. I liked Echo in the show. I liked even the Tracksuit Mafia.
I really did, yeah. She was actually really good.
And I liked a lot of the fighting. I liked a lot of the arrow stuff. I think there's a lot of plodding about in this show.
Yeah, I don't really know what we're trying to get to.
Because,
in
yeah,
the end.
I remember the crux of the plot was like, oh, we need to get rid of the Ronin suit because, like, the Ronin...
Kate's like convinced that Shady husband is like.
Oh,
doing
aye,
shady
like,
things.
there's Kate's got her own thing going on, but it turns out it's not. So, yeah, the plot does plod along a wee bit.
Yeah.
I like the stuff of Hawkeye and his family. I think it's a lot of good characters and character moments
Yeah.
plodded about. And yeah, there's a couple of things you need to get over. Especially like Kingpin is one of those ones where you kind of need to get over it.
Yeah. Like now we just need to accept this as what it is.
Which I have taken to that a lot more than you have, but you deeply, passionately love Netflix's Daredevil a lot more than me, I think.
Yes, it would be in its own tier above S tier.
I'll give you that. And I've not seen season 3, I'll get slated for that, but I've seen season 1 and 2 and I loved season 1 and 2. Bring back Shane as the Punisher. That's what I'm waiting for.
Bring them all back, man. Bring them all back.
I don't know where you want to put it. Do you like it more or less than Thor Ragnarok?
I do. I would put it in B somewhere. I'd probably put it above Ragnarok, below Dark World.
Right, I'll grant you that mercy. The dog was nice.
The dog was nice. Yelena's in it.
Yelena's in it and she's beautiful. Oh, she's gorgeous. Let's quickly talk about that. You tell me that you think that you think they resolve all the Black Widow stuff too quickly in Hawkeye. And as you said earlier as well, you think that they didn't do enough with Black Widow in Hawkeye. I disagree. I think they could have done more to Mon. But I think they had Yelena in it and they made a big enough deal about like the conflict between them.
Right, aye. I meant like, well, Yelena's obviously feeling it. I mean more like Clint stuff. And he does feel it a bit.
He does feel it.
He's really the only one caring for her, really.
Yeah.
So
and he's constantly reminded about like
the
whole situation.
I guess I was maybe a bit too harsh on it there because I feel like, because we do spend a lot of time with Clint feeling
they could
like missing her.
They could spend more.
I guess.
I'll give you that, but there's some good scenes, like the bit where he goes up and sees the memorial for the Battle of New York.
Yeah, that's a bit.
And twins on that, like that's good.
Do you know what? I was probably a bit too harsh there.
But
they do deal with it quite well.
But I mean, I'll grant you, like,
and that is Yelena's whole thing. Getting revenge for her.
And I think Yelena's handled really well because it's like, it really is just break the thing, like, it just literally wasn't me and you need to understand that.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even go away from Clint just being his pal now. She's kind of like, okay, I'm going to need to learn things. I still hate you a little bit, but we'll figure out what's going on with that.
We'll do it later.
We'll see Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Maybe they're pals. I hope like they're a cameo. Jerry Renner in his hospital bed.
Oh man, poor guy.
Right. Then it was Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was so much and it just wasn't at the same time.
Moon Knight was a big heavy handful of something.
It was like supposed to be like harder.
Well, it wasn't.
Like violent,
it was supposed to be violent, and it wasn't.
I don't think it wasn't. I don't
it had
think
some
it was
bloody violence,
yeah.
but it wasn't as violent as you thought it would
I feel
be.
like they could have went a bit crazy there. I know the start of this show was amazing.
The start of the show was fantastic. I thought that pretty much the whole thing was fantastic, but it does get a bit more samey towards the end, and a bit more familiar.
I don't know where they lost me, but it was definitely more towards the end.
I think I was fine with it until really like the end, and even the end was kind of like, alright. I mean, it's not controversial when I say, because I've said this about every fucking thing on this list, I didn't really like Moon Knight,
Right.
but it's probably one of the most easy to forget about things.
Definitely.
Unless they really bring it back somehow.
Yeah, I don't know when or how that happens.
It was really strong on the Moon Knight stuff.
Yes.
Like, Oscar Isaac is definitely the highlight, and all the stuff with like different personas was done pretty much as perfectly as you could have asked it to be done.
It was really good, especially when we get to, I think it's 5 or 6 maybe, when we do the flashback to the like Indiana Jones stuff.
Yeah,
that was great.
Fantastic, man. I really am a big, humongous fan of the lassie. I forgot her name and I'd love her at best. I've got her on Instagram.
Delilah.
I think that's her character's name.
Yeah.
The actress. I thought she was brilliant.
She was really good. She was one of the highlights of the show.
I want to pick your brain about Ethan Hawke.
But Ethan Hawke, the legend Ethan Hawke.
Because you love Ethan Hawke and I love Ethan Hawke as well.
Yes.
You'd think you would say that he was wasted in this. I think it's not quite that simple.
Maybe not.
Who could Ethan Hawke realistically have been?
I don't know. It's more like I don't think Ethan Hawke would just be in the MCU. Because I think he used to be like sold it. In a way that it would make him want to do something.
I think my issue with Harrow was that he just sort of disappeared right at the end. I feel like they really stopped spending as much time with him as they should have. But he was always a good, convincing character, and Ethan Hawke sells it.
Hi.
So I can't even say they wasted Ethan Hawke, even though it kind of feels like it does, because it's fucking Ethan Hawke and he played like the dipshit monk guy from Moon Knight. But Ethan Hawke was really good.
There's probably something he could have done more. But I think it was a good performance. I
do think it was really good. As you say, I don't think Ethan Hawke could have ever have done anything else in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a role in there. I just don't know what it is. Maybe I've not seen it yet.
But I mean, it had a really strong aesthetic. All of the like Egyptian influences, the music were really good. I really like the music in there actually.
I think the costume was good.
Costume
there was a couple of times I don't know if it was the CGI mixing with the practical costume. It didn't sell me, but on the whole, it looked okay.
I like all this. The Mr. Knight suit was fantastic.
That was
as well.
great, yeah.
Again, Oscars. I really can't overstate a good Oscar with acting.
Yep.
I know this is. I get like all of these shows have been good for it, but the title sequence of Midnight always got the credit sequence for Midnight was always really good. You remember it just shows like all these different like images of like Khonshu and the moon, and it's all like fucked up because you're like, Mark's all fucked up. I don't know, it was weird and I loved it. And the music was good. I like the Midnight theme actually quite a lot.
Right.
It's definitely like a mid-level B.
I think it's going to be, I don't think it's like a C.
Oh, definitely not.
C's too low. I think B.
Well, the good news is we've only 3 things left to grade, and I don't think we're going to go any lower than an A from what's left.
Oh, really? Oh,
Where are you grading
damn.
that? That's an S.
Nah.
Well, it's not an S. That's an S.
That's an S.
That, come on, we loved that.
I don't know if I'd put it an A though.
Oh my god. Holy shit, Graham's turning. We came out of work every... Okay, we'll get there when we get there. Moon Knight, we're going to go in the middle of B.
Yes, I'm happy with that.
Was it better than Homecoming?
Nah, I probably enjoyed Homecoming more.
Okay.
I think Moon Knight's the perfect character for a special presentation.
That's absolutely correct.
I think if we do a Moon Knight
if we get like a Jake Lockley thing, just give him a presentation.
Exactly.
Aye.
Something like that would be perfect for him, because that's the only way I can see him fitting back in, maybe.
Okay, so 2 things left. The first, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel is the easiest S tier in this list. This was the only one I knew was going in S tier when we started this list.
Probably.
I'm going to put it up there immediately and we'll figure out how far up the S tier it goes.
Yes.
I think Miss Marvel was insanely strong for what it was.
It was a shock.
It was a shock.
How much we
You
enjoyed
think
it.
it's going to be like a tween tee pee pee poo poo, like
Yeah.
look at us, Camp Rock, High School Musical.
Yeah.
And you don't really, I don't really know much about Miss Marvel. I've not really read a lot of the comics. I know how good she is and how important she is for like diversity.
Yeah.
But I just don't know enough about Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Kamala Khan, that's how you say it.
Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala, yeah.
From episode 1 though, we were like in.
Oh yeah, definitely. The first episode's the best visual.
I think
in the
episode 1 or
show.
2, I'd like some of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff they do with the kind of titles on the actual buildings and in the shot is really cool.
The visual choices in the show are exceptional. So creative, so well done, so believable, so practical and beautiful. And again, every aesthetic sort of side of it, the music, both OST and like needle drops, like the cast and all that. I'll get back to the cast. And even though at the end of the day, the actual core story piddled a little bit, it
Definitely.
sort of wobbled a wee bit,
Yeah.
especially with the villains.
Yes.
It was never about that to me. It was always about
The family dynamic.
the family dynamic, about the growth of Kamala and like what's going on with her, and that was never ever done badly. That was always
That was
always
always the focus.
the focus, and it was always so great.
Yeah.
And it was also, again, much like when we talked about Black Panther 1, it was a great diversity thing. Fucking wild that they came out with like everything that they did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just displaying such a
I
beautiful...
don't know how well it captured Muslim community, but it felt like it did.
It felt like it did, and it was one of the best representations of the Muslim community I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, just in media. Like, fucking hell. I'm going to say something that's not offensive to Muslim people, it's actually offensive to other people. The point is, there was an event in our past that I feel like wrongly characterised the Muslim community. People obviously were depicting the Muslim community as traditionally like terrible things because of an event in American history.
Alright, yeah.
And that was always like a bit dodge. And you know what, I'm going to admit my bias here. Obviously, growing up in that culture where people like that were always depicted as the barest amount of suspicious. I've always personally had that like subconscious like, I'm not like, I don't really know how to perceive Muslim people because like, you know, every media I've been pursuing. So you get like a show like this, and this is brilliant because you're like, oh my god, yes, of course, Muslim people are people as well. They've got vibrant festivals and amazing food and beautiful culture.
Yeah.
And then they go into history, they go into partition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff was so good and well done and important and relevant to the story.
Yes.
It was. That's why we S-tiered it immediately.
It was chef's kiss.
Because it just felt a good show to watch. Brilliant aesthetic, emotional, historical experience. Everything about it was just good to watch.
Yes.
And of course, held together by the third person on my top 3, literally the best casting for an adaptation ever made. Robert Downey Jr., Chadwick Boseman, Iman Vellani.
Yeah, man.
You could not...
It was just perfect.
She was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
You could not have picked a better person. There is...
I mean, after the Marvels comes out, she's just going to be the best person in the MCU.
She is right now still for me. Like, I'm
Probably.
just wanting her back. I'm so excited for the Marvels because I'm like, feel like pure shit. Just want Kamala back. Like,
exactly. I just need more of her somewhere.
just chuck in Lockjaw and we're perfect.
Come on.
It's so nice when she was like dressed up as like Kamala like back in the day and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so happy.
It was so good.
I keep going. I'm really
so
bad.
good.
I keep going between Kamala and Kamala. It's Kamala.
Yes.
I think Kamala's Kamala Harris, the
Yes.
United States. I'm like
Perfect.
holding my hand in the world. Every episode was just so unbelievably perfectly embodying that character. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, what do you think of the powers?
I would prefer it to be the comics, but I'm not disappointed with what we got.
I
feel like the essence was there.
Yeah, I think
the powers, just the essence of the character.
I think they really did capture it. I think, I believe in my heart of hearts they really were just doing that so that they can make her tie-in a bit better with Carol and Monica.
Probably. Who's to say we don't get the powers right eventually?
Who's to say? We need to stay until Fantastic Four's out.
Yeah.
Because also, a lot of us were all under the belief that they weren't doing the stretchy powers because they couldn't make it look good.
I thought it looked good in all the Fantastic Four movies.
It looked alright. I did look, to be fair. The Fantastic movies weren't that bad, to be honest.
I don't know what you could do.
I think the powers were good. I think the moments where they got in, the kind of stuff like when her fist flies forward and when she diggins in the finale, I'm like, oh, that's good. You're clearly getting the points where you need to get them.
Yeah.
And I do like that the emotional crux finale was actually separate for the dog shit villains. And it was more just about like relationship with I can't remember his name now. That's actually a bit annoying.
The boyf guy, but not the boyf.
Oh man, she's got a full love triangle with a red dagger as well, man, which was brilliant. I just loved it all. A really great depiction of culture that, like, in Western media we just don't see enough. And like in a really healthy way, but also in a way that works with the story. A really great story. You relate to her.
Yeah, absolutely do.
Like,
Minute one.
The way they treat Avengers as a cultural unit within their universe, in a comparison to the way we treat Avengers as a cultural unit in our universe, is fascinating.
It made perfect sense.
Yeah, it really is just fascinating. Yeah, S tier, I kind of want to move it up from where it is.
It's definitely like, it's like Civil War levels, honestly.
I kind of want to put it like definitely above Black Panther, which is good that both the major victories and representation are some of the best things they've done.
Yeah.
I think I will set it below Civil War on the provision of like the villains were really weak.
Yeah.
And Civil War has really strong villains. So yeah, but don't know, just they really captured it perfectly there. Yeah. Honestly. Apparently no one watched it. Apparently had really bad viewing numbers.
Well, it was out the same time as Obi-Wan, I think.
It was actually, you're right.
So it's probably taken away from that. And that's why they probably haven't done it again since.
It's true. They really should manage themselves, but that's what they're saying about slowing down. They really should manage themselves better.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, apparently controversial, the last item of the night.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Honestly, Ewan, right, this
was
show,
fantastic!
It starts off so strong, right? The first, 3 episodes are amazing. See, in the middle, you just lose me.
With what? What's losing you?
It just seems like, what are we doing here? It just didn't have the same zest that the beginning and the end have. I don't know what it is.
It's probably because the beginning and the end are where the thrust of an actual concept of lore happens.
Probably.
And the middle is just...
I didn't like the ending.
Procedural, why not?
Because they just tell you and then it just happens and they don't show you anything.
But I don't think they need to show you anything though. The point is she's taking control of the narrative.
I guess.
What they're telling you is the point. What you're seeing of her telling them what the ending's going to be is how then, that's the point of the ending, not what physically happens. The fact that the show goes out of its way to tell you that the stupid punchy ending that you wanted to see is not what you should be looking for.
Damn it.
Because it's her lawyer show.
It is her lawyer show, and she does some lawyer stuff.
And I think that was brilliant. I really think it's a great...
It wasn't as lawyer as I thought it'd be, to be honest with you.
Truthfully, no, but I don't think it could have been. It wasn't going to be like fucking Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, I guess. That's the low one. But
that also wasn't as lawyer as I thought it'd be.
Really?
No.
There's a lot of good lawyering in that.
There's
a lot of good cheating and illegally.
Full season with lawyering, to be fair. I liked it, right?
I liked it really a lot.
I want to put it in B. That's where it sits for me. If I think about it hard enough, it may be A. Simply on the power of 2 Daredevil episodes.
Yeah, you got 2 really good Daredevil episodes.
Yes.
Daredevil's back, Charlie Cox is back, and he was good.
He was in Spider-Man, but he wasn't really.
Oh, sorry, he was in Spider-Man, I forgot to mention that.
But he's fully
Daredevil
back here.
was in this one.
He's fully back here, and it's kind of okay. Do you know what? I'm scared, I'm hesitant.
You're hesitant, but I think you're especially after Kingpin, you're kind of I think you're hesitant to accept that this looks good, it looks right.
Yes.
I suppose there's some interesting differences, obviously a lot more CGI acrobatics.
Yes.
To get more in line with the comics Daredevil, with Kingpin.
I think that they couldn't do the full hallway fight scene on the budget of She-Hulk, but I hope for Born Again it's full fight choreography.
We need to see what Born Again's looking like. They said it's going to be more violent and more gritty than we're used to, but obviously not as much as the Netflix show.
Yeah.
I thought it was done very well in this show.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I wasn't upset with the performance of them.
I think
what they done with them.
A lot of it was good. I think Abomination was weirdly good. I don't know.
Abomination was great.
Interesting to see them reconcile that character.
Think it would be like a full villain at the end, but he's not.
Yeah, he's just like an idiot.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Tatiana was very, very, very good.
She's great.
I think the actual core She-Hulk was great. I think the CGI actually ended up being not too bad. There was some moments, but actually
I don't think matches with the show are involved with her, how the show looks.
I think what your issue is with just what the show actually is.
Maybe.
Because at the end of the day, it's something fresh. It was more of an issue of the week procedural. It wasn't a lore-filled programming narrative.
Yeah.
It was just like
Was it
some
8
episodes were
episodes?
just. Sorry?
Was it 8 episodes? I feel like it might have felt too long.
I think it was
Maybe.
an odd number. It was like 9 episodes, I think.
Maybe. I feel like it maybe could have been a couple down. And that's
But then they were only like half an hour episodes, mine.
Well, some of them were. Some of them were like. Yeah, I feel like it maybe could have been a bit shorter.
Maybe. But then it's also the style of the show, innit? That's what they're going for. It was a swing, and I don't think it was an entire miss.
No, I don't think it was a miss.
And we're in this era when they're doing the shows and they're trying new things. You get WandaVision was like the sitcom thing. Like Moon Knight was a lot more focused. Look, Moon Knight and Loki.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was sort of longer and funnier, and then like this was literally like, what if we just do a show that's pretty much mostly just single stories?
Yeah.
With obviously like a more like a narrative that works in, but this was still individualised, and I really think it was a success. I really thought it was funny, a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be.
It was pretty funny. Maybe I just didn't find the middle bits that funny.
It depends on what exactly you're talking about in the middle. To be fair,
I don't remember exactly, but
I would still let you keep it in B if you really wanted, and I'd probably put it below Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Above Guardians.
Okay. Yeah.
If that's all right for you.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Placing it in there. Oh my.
Bonk, and that's it.
My God.
It's a tier list we're looking at, and it's a shape of a big fucking F.
Oh, it is.
And you know that, man? Fantastic Four.
Da, 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 da.
So that was pretty much it. One last addendum before we do anything. I want to know, one of the things we talk about the most is Phase 4.
Phase 4.
So I want to talk just briefly about your general opinion about Phase 4. Overall, I mean, let's quickly say overall, MCU is pretty fucking great. You see how it tapers. We've got the equal amounts in A and B.
Yeah.
And it sort of really doesn't have that many stinkers.
I don't think so.
Except Thor 4.
Yeah, that's its only real true miss of like epic proportions.
We need to sit down and watch Incredible Hulk, and I bet you we put it up to like C.
Honestly, yeah, because honestly we just haven't seen it. I've seen it once a long ass time
I've not seen
ago.
it at all.
So it's probably better than we think it is there.
Definitely.
It's simply there because we haven't seen it.
Aye.
I don't really know, man. Phase 4 as a whole.
Yeah, I want to talk about this because me and you talk about Phase 4 all the time.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it might pay dividends at the end of 6 here, right? But we won't know that until now. So I can only judge it from what I feel like right now. And I feel like it was a miss more than a hit. Saying that, the way we've graded these, like, we like a lot of them.
We do like a lot of them.
You know?
Like, No Way Home, Miss Marvel.
I think it's just the overall quality felt lower. And it felt more meandery. I couldn't see a through line in all these. I don't know if we need that yet. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I won't see it.
I think the main reason we always argue about it, well, not argue because we're besties, but the main reason we always come to blows about it is because you were always insistent on like there's not really like a through line.
Yeah.
It's a bit meander. I don't know what's going on, and I was always like believe in the plan.
Yeah.
Like it's going to pay dividends, and I think we're slowly getting dividends, but
we're at least paying off Kang now.
Yeah, like we're already starting to see something.
Yeah.
So I am still kind of confident to see where it goes. You've warmed up on it a wee bit, to be fair, especially looking at like how highly it was rated, some of the things.
Definitely, yeah.
It was an experimental phase. I think, do you ever wonder if one of the things that's getting to you is because it came right after Endgame? So
That's certainly definitely it.
The like complete accumulation.
Yeah, you've come to the end of something that was 20 years or whatever it was in the making. And where do you go from there? I think that's where they could have left it for a year or two, regrouped, and came back with like this new fresh idea. Because coming in now, coming after Endgame, taking 2 years off, and then coming back with these fresh new shows, coming out with Moon Knight straight away, that would be cooler, I think, than doing it the next year or whatever, whenever they done it.
Yeah, there was literally no breaks. It was just constantly going, and they're releasing so many at a time now, so they obviously announced that they're going to try and pull back a bit, which I think is the right move.
I think so.
What have we got coming up? Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
I think will be good, but will not possibly live up to what Secret Invasion should be.
I think it should be like super instrumental. It just can't be though.
No, not as like a fucking limited run show.
Yeah.
That should be like an Avengers movie.
Yeah, like we just can't have Skrulls that are actually superheroes we thought were really superheroes. We just can't have that.
Exactly. Happen. But yeah, I think if they try and maintain our expectations of it, because they've not implied it's going to be that big. They've made it clear that it's going to be like a Nick Fury spy story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. We've got Guardians Volume 3.
Yep.
Which trailer for that looks really good. I'm excited, especially because this is like James Gunn's publicly said, I'm killing one of the Guardians. This is my last movie.
This is the last one.
Or at least this iteration. He's even clear that I'm fine if they keep using the Guardians.
The Guardians will probably be in a new iteration of team after this.
Exactly.
But yeah.
We got Loki Season 2, which we got a little tease for at the end of Quantumania.
That's this year.
I am not 100% sure, actually. I don't think they've announced a date for it.
There's only 2 shows they're doing this years now, right? 2 show a year.
I think it was Loki and Secret Invasion was confirmed this year, and we're not sure about Echo.
I think that was like delayed though, like confirmed delayed. They did move a lot of them because they moved Marvels, didn't they?
A late summer release, allegedly. We did move Marvels, which we got Marvels. Marvels I'm interested in.
I think I'm the most excited for that one,
I think I'm excited to see where it goes. Apparently the test screen's done really well. It's got a man in it. It's got Brie, who I like, and
Yep.
I quite liked I think it's he pronounced it Tiona Paris, who's Monica.
So, yeah.
I like all of them. I'm excited to see what they're doing with it, pretty much.
Yes.
For weirdly enough, the one mystery I want answered right now is the ring shit.
Yeah.
Like the rings for
Shang-Chi. Are all
Shang-Chi.
going to link together.
And how's that linked to Miss Marvel? Because there's a 10 Rings logo where they got the bangles.
And how can we teleport?
Yeah, like what's going on there?
Yeah.
But,
I think that'll be a big thing in the movie. Is like that'll probably divide it.
Yeah.
If people like this or can get with the powers or like what's happening.
What if it actually explains what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. I'm gonna get some credit and some time.
I think so. I think that's all the Marvel stuff we've got this year.
And then after that, it's just things that will happen. Born Again will be a Daredevil story.
Yes.
Echo will be a Daredevil story.
Daredevil-esque story.
Mega Spider-Man 4. We will get a Fantastic Four.
We'll get Matt Shackman's Fantastic Four.
Thunderbolts, I'm weirdly excited because I love all the characters in that.
Yeah. I'm excited for villain team. I'm excited to see it.
And then Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
Can't believe they're just...
The incursions are coming.
Hinting about Secret Wars.
It's crazy. I think that's when the Russos come back. They just do Secret Wars.
They keep saying that they just don't want to.
Yeah, but come
on. Come on, yeah.
Throw them in money.
You know, come on.
Yeah, I think that's one they wanted to do in like interviews and
they always talk about it. Even when they're saying that they're not doing it, they're always talking about it.
And it's massive. It's like the biggest one maybe.
Secret Wars. I'm just really hoping they do it right. They've got all this time. It's actually
not Incursions, it's just the Beyonder.
Well, apparently the Beyonder's going to be in it, but then that's too early to say.
It's the OG one.
What one is that one?
Just like, they just put them on a planet and they're all fighting.
What one's Battle World? Is that the first one?
Battle World's in the Hickman one as well.
Is that the Incursions one?
Aye.
Is that both of them?
We're just not going to do that, aye.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I think Kang's going to stay relevant, and I think Doctor Doom is going to become relevant.
We need Doom somewhere. Is he the Fantastic Four's villain? It makes sense. I don't know though.
I don't really know who
I was convinced they had an end credits in Black Panther.
I think they might have done it. They just had to cut it out because they wanted to give more time for the Chadwick thing. Although apparently the leaks say that he was the one who ordered the people on the boat. You know, the boat at the start that gets taken over by the Talibans?
Yeah.
But according to like all the stuff from like the script and that's just like America. Okay. Apparently it was the CIA that did that, so gives a bit more credence to the actual internal struggles, but then it's like, I don't think Doctor Doom would be able to order a CIA ship.
Unless.
Latveria's got some powers from it.
You know.
I don't really see how he couldn't be in Fantastic Four realistically as the villain, or even just as a presence.
Yeah.
Some people said that they'll do the Fantastic Four getting their powers in the negatives on it, it'll be like an Annihilus. Like, Annihilus seems like a weird villain to have as like the first movie villain.
Yeah, I would rather him have a phase.
Truthfully.
You know? Like, he'd probably be the next one.
Like, it'd be fun if after they do it, like, let's do a big 3-phase Kang thing, and then after that, unless you really want to just work up to Galactus, have like phased with villains. Yeah. Like, Annihilus pops up a couple of times across phase 7. God forbid we get to phase 7. Christ, phase 10.
I think we're heading that way. I think it's got some legs. Because I think Marvel have had a flutter here, they've dipped a bit. I think the fact that DC are coming, maybe they're going to be great, maybe they're going to be terrible, right? I think the fact that they're going to exist now in some sort of coherent
Marvel
form,
needs to pick it up, basically.
I think it'll make both of them better.
That's not a bad idea.
It'll probably inject it for another few years than it
competition.
You know?
It works.
Yeah.
I hope they cancel every movie and stop releasing movies.
It would be great. So because I really want to see the next Martin Scorsese.
Yes. You got Martin Scorsese.
Killers of the Flower Moon or whatever it's
is up at night screaming. He sees that they've announced a release date for another fucking Loki season 2. He punches the wall.
Oh man, he does. I bet he loves it, right? I bet he actually does.
Bro, I bet he watched.
I love Martin Scorsese.
I bet he watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and he said, "This is cinema, bro."
He probably did.
What did was it not like Miss Marvel? We were like, man, we should just let Martin Scorsese watch this. And he was just like, "This is cinema."
He probably will get it. He'll be like, "I love this." Yes.
Or the Batman.
He should definitely watch the Batman. He watched the Joker. He loved the Joker.
He loved the Joker because the Joker loved him.
That's true.
Alright, okay, and this is Ewan and Graham for the Future.
Yes, hello.
We've seen Guardians Volume 3 now.
Yes.
And we want to quickly add it in before we get this episode out, because why not, you know, don't want to outdate it immediately.
Of course.
What do you think of Guardians 3, Graham?
What did I think of Guardians 3? I loved the film, Ewan.
It was a very, very good film.
I think it's the best Guardians movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I do think it's very much the strength of all things before it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as good if we didn't have 1, 2 and the holiday special and like even Infinity War and Endgame and all that.
Especially Endgame and stuff, the effects of that are felt in this film. And
I always wondered if James Gunn was like aware of that and like if he knew and if he was like, I think I remember reading somewhere, and don't quote me on this, but I swear to God he was kind of like, I need to deal with that now. Not that he like they forcibly had Gamora die on him.
Yeah.
But I think I remember him saying something about like how they sort of did their own thing, and he's like, well, how do I mesh with that?
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they were all in a room. Like,
there's no way they would just do that. Like, oh, there you go, James. You need to deal with that one now.
Yeah.
I imagine like Zoe Saldana get the script and she's like, James, like text him in the Guardians group chat like, bro, something's gone wrong here. Yeah, I mean, I'd easily say it's probably the best of all the Guardians properties. I really, really good at like delivering an ending.
Yes.
It feels like everything's come together. Like they were drawing in characters and jokes and plot lines.
Yeah.
And they're funneling all through this. I was like, I was coming out of the cinema, I was like, I'm just so amazed at how much of an ending it was, how willing they were to say like this is it for like where we are now at least.
Because endings are pretty hard, and sometimes they just fumble the bag.
Yes.
But this one ended in a way I didn't think it was going to end this way, but I was quite happy with what I got in the end.
In what way? Spoilers, by the way, it's still relatively
yeah.
fresh when this goes up, hopefully. So.
Well, I thought there was going to be like a couple deaths.
Yeah, you did. You were
And
quite.
like none, right?
There's literally none. I don't think anyone dies.
No deaths.
Did you? They don't even die. Evolutionary dies. Did you see that?
Does it not die?
They revealed
no,
that.
it doesn't die yet.
Well, they don't kill him.
I
But
think they should have killed him.
they reveal that Drax is carrying him
All right.
out in the way, and there's a deleted scene or something like in the VFX where they made it more obvious,
Then it was him.
but they actually took it back out. But
Right.
like if you look, and I remember seeing a picture, and it's big purple guy. So not only did they not kill him, but they actually go out of their way to save him.
Right. Damn, no, I don't like that. They should have at least left him with the ship.
Well, I mean, he's going to rot in prison and nowhere now, I guess.
Probably.
I admire that they didn't kill anyone, especially with how
I'm
much.
happy they don't kill him because I'd like to have a villain that can come back.
Yeah,
and do villainous
you've
things.
always hated like the willingness to kill villains.
Yeah, because I think we can get like maybe 2 movies, 3 movies out of them instead of just killing them in the first one.
Yeah. I mean, even if they don't bring him back as like a main villain, it's still something that they've always got in pocket.
Exactly.
They can keep him in pocket. I've never been like fussed either way. I guess I've always been more of the mind of like I'm always wanting them to expand and always add more, and I always worried that if they kept keeping villains alive,
It
that
would just get samey.
yes, like
Yeah,
oh
that makes
okay, we're going to
sense.
go back to like the fucking High Evolution again, even though we had him before when they
What's
could have
his
like
shtick?
they
What
could have
he's
chucked
looking
in
at
like Lady Hellbender
Yeah.
or like the Church of the Universal Truth. I played the Guardians game in the break. It's incredible. But yeah, so I kind of really admired that they didn't kill anyone. I thought that was like kind of really like fuck you for James. Like, well, you know what? I'm gonna have a big sad ending, but no one's gonna die. I'm gonna show you that I can do it. I'm gonna make it powerful, and I was really happy because in that way, you know, people dying. I'm not saying it's inherently bad, but like for these characters, none of them dying really would have served the arc that well in my head.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty
I think the one that maybe would have made sense would be Drax because his arc was Thanos, and Thanos is now gone.
Pretty much. But I think that depends on whether you can write it well, and that's, you know, Drax in this movie I think was written exceptionally well, where they really did take all that comedy of Drax and push it into like he was a father, he can be a force for good, he isn't just a killer.
Yeah.
So like if they didn't have, I mean this is probably a testament to James Gunn's writing ability, but like if they didn't have something meaningful to say, there was no point. Coming into the movie, I would have agreed with you that they probably could have killed Drax. Obviously Dave Bautista wants to get out of it anyway, and at that point I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it makes sense, but James Gunn was like, no, I'm going to write it in a way that he gets to stay alive and have a really meaningful moment, but we can also shuffle him out now. And that was, you know, that ending I thought was really just interesting and wise in how they took all those characters and moved them forward. I really hope the new Guardians team comes back.
I hope so too. Even if it's not in the whole movie themselves,
Yeah.
they can like jump in some weird space thing somewhere.
Well, it's just good to have like a reliable, dependable space team.
Exactly.
And that sort of leads on to like, there's also, you talk about the other, like the newer characters. I know there's a lot of contention about Adam Warlock.
Right. Yeah.
And I know I've, in this episode alone, I've said some just fucking ludicrous things about like Ant-Man and how much I like that, and movies that just people will sleep before. I really liked Adam Warlock in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a problem with him because I don't really know what it's like in the source material.
That's true.
I don't think he's like this.
No, definitely not. And
I don't think it's.
playing the Guardians
It's not a
game.
problem for me. Yeah.
Playing the Guardians game, guys, like he's in that. Spoilers, I guess it sound like the trailers. I think he's more in the game. He's more like what he is in the comics, which is literally space Jesus.
Yeah,
like he's just this big, just so much. I am literally the more powerful than anything ever. You're nothing to me. Like he speaks this. I don't know if this is how it is in the comics, but in the game he speaks in alliterations. Like his entire sentence is like this perniferous purification brooding bunch of bad bums, and he like they make fun of it. He's very much holier than thou, very much space Jesus.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that I thought going into this, I said, look, I don't know much about Adam Warlock, but I know his story is almost so crucially tied to the Infinity War. Yeah, and like the Soul Stone. So if they can't do that with him, what are they going to do? And it's almost as if James went, well, yeah, let's just, like, you know, we can't do the big thing with him, so let's hone in on something completely different.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
The idea of like, well, he is just fresh out the pod, he has been gestated and born.
Yeah.
What would that be like? So yeah, I thought that was really fun and cool. I like Will Poulter a lot.
I love Will Poulter. I think he's just on a rise.
He's doing really well.
That weird, like, school sketch show he was in.
Oh, cry me a fucking river, Barry!
He's just been great since then.
I was thinking We're the Millers.
We're the Millers. See, that was the next step up. He got in a Jennifer Aniston movie.
He did get but he had a world famous meme. Like, what?
Yes.
You guys are getting paid? Like, Will Poulter he's made his stamp now, especially if you see if you see other people making memes out of the bit where he shows up to nowhere while Crazy on You's playing. Yeah. I love that. So good. It's so good. And I did like that. I thought Chuck Woody was really good as a High Evolutionary. A lot of people are saying he's literally one of the best villains.
I think he was screaming a lot.
He was.
I liked him to be a bit more menacing, and cool, but like just says it.
I disagree.
Yeah.
A lot of people are actually praising him for that thing that you're saying. A lot of people are talking about how he was good because he was literally just like
unhinged.
Completely unhinged, zealous, like insane. And you know, I think they balanced out with enough cold moments.
Yeah.
Like he would have a moment or a line that would, like the bit where he says, like, you know, there is no God, that's why I stepped down. Yeah. That's like the coldest line of the MCU. Yes. It was so like, oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah. And I think if he'd be a bit too like smooth, menace, he'd be too much like other people. He'd be like Kang.
Right.
Like he'd be literally, Kang's like menacing.
But he's like, I know I'm better than you.
Yeah. Just talking about it on a superficial level.
Yeah.
Like villains like, there's a lot of villains like that where they're like, you know, I project intimidation by being like, What was good about the High Evolutionary is that he was like doing these horrible things and he was loudly like, no, I am infinitely better than you. I rip apart people. I am a genetic nightmare. Like I thought that was really just because it's the thing that a lot of people praise when it comes back. People would moan about this early on. But now we're sort of cycling back on, it's cool to have villains who are deep and motivated, and it's cool to have villains who are just fucking psychos, who are just like, I'm the High Evolutionary, I'm obsessed with the perfect genetics.
It goes in psychos.
I hate all of you and I hope you die. And it's like, okay, well, it's, you know, he's not like, you know, like Wenwu, like Killmonger. He's got like a whole thing going on. Yeah. And I thought that was brilliant. I also really like Chuck Woody as an actor. He's always fun when he's in stuff, and also he's really in Peacemaker, and he just seems to be like getting in there and having fun with it. And I can tell when an actor is really enjoying what they're up to. I'm not saying that.
I can tell that,
No, I've never seen this before in the MCU. I see it all the time, but he was one of the ones where it really, like, he was really getting it, and because he had such a big character and such a big like evil role.
Yeah.
It really shone through for me because I'm not a man. He is just going for that malicious behaviour.
Yes.
I will say, I thought the mic drops in this were probably the worst of all of the Guardians properties.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they were all bad. I mean, Crazy on You. I thought some of them were just sort of put in a good way, but they didn't feel quite as like impactful as like
The Chain.
Yeah, no, well, nothing will beat The Chain. Like
it's the whole thing.
Cherry Bomb, Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah.
But you know, I like what's the one?
Well, it's a different kind of needle drop. The start of this one's Creep.
Yes, Creep at the start of this is weird because
what was the start of Guardians 2?
A lot of people. That was Mr. Blue Sky.
There you go, right.
That was so good. That was so good. That is the thing though. Quickly, I'll say what was the other one? In the meantime, and the one that was in all the trailers, the one by Rainbow.
I don't know.
Oh, well, we'll remember it or like he'll check in a minute. But the point is, those songs just sort of felt like they were there. They just played, and it wasn't bad, especially when they're good songs. But again, it's not like The Chain, it's not like Hooked on a Feeling, it's not like, it doesn't really motion, it just makes the scene cooler.
Just like adding a bit of flavour.
Yeah. Since You've Been Gone. See, I was singing it in my head. But I love those songs. They just, they were just like part of the scene as opposed to like amplifying the scene. Yeah. But all that being said, Dog Days Are Over is probably one of the best musical drops in a movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, and then we let it play to end.
Yeah.
Just being there wherever.
I think it was such a great song for the emotion of the moment, as you say, like letting it run as long the way through and sit. That was just like, I remember sitting in the cinema and just like feeling something about this. That was like a moving, compelling moment. So that's why I'm like, even though I'd say a lot of the music drops weren't as good as the other movies, like that's not mean it's bad. And it does have also some of my favourite music drops of the movies.
Yeah.
It's just, I'd say the other ones were more consistent with like their music use.
Yeah.
I remember when Guardians 2 came out, I was just listening to all of the music for Guardians 2.
Right.
Even like the ones I didn't even care about, like Lakeshore Drive, I didn't like it or care about, but I still listened to it. I remember that was for Guardians 2.
I say Guardians has always been the best with licensed properties, with licensed music.
Yes.
Other than like Black Panther. I say that's the
Yes.
other like standout.
Yes, I'll give you that. I was sort of looking at the tier list in front of me. I'd say that the music. If we want to quick aside, the music drop I always remember is
Iron Man.
no, it's the song. It's called like I've got it on my Spotify, but it's the credits music for one of the Moon Knight episodes.
Okay.
It's like an Egyptian rock song.
They're all like Egyptian songs.
Well, they were quite.
And Miss Marvel had like all like kind of.
Yeah, Miss Marvel as well was fantastic for it. That was a lot of great songs in that actually. I'm sure I have to have it here somewhere. It's the one where he's in Egypt though.
Right.
Like when he wakes up and they're like, oh my god, I'm in Egypt. El Maluk, I think they pronounce that. I might be terrible at that, but it's so like, oh, it's where he's like, oh god, I'm in Egypt, and then that music, the credits start and that music kicks in. It's like it's such a heavy beat. That's on my Spotify playlist. I love that song.
Quick aside, did you know that Lila, is it Lila or Layla? That's in Moon Knight.
No, it's Layla in Moon Knight.
Layla, she's gonna be in the comics.
Yes, she is going to be in the comics. I saw that they were looking at bringing her in. Well, I really like that. I'm really happy for that, especially because she was technically an adaptation of a character.
Right.
She was like the Scarlet Scarab or whatever it was, which was like sort of a Z tier Moon Knight character, but.
Right.
Well, maybe not Z tier, but Marvel, the MCU does this sometimes, where it takes disparate ideas and references and mushes them into something really actually interesting.
Right.
And it usually ends up being from the comics, but it might be something that was never really that big a deal, or
Right.
it was not that interesting in the comics. But then, yeah, in this instance where they've like made her quite cool and interesting, I know I loved her in Moon Knight, everyone really liked her in Moon Knight, so to turn around and be like, yeah, we'll just zhuzh that back into the comics.
A weird effect where like Ultimate Nick Fury is Samuel L. Jackson, so
Yes.
then it becomes Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
I
weird
think
thing
about
like
Coulson.
Right.
Coulson, not a comic character, but he was like I feel like I remember him, either he was in the comics in a tiny capacity and then got adapted and made cool, or again, he was just
movies.
so cool in the movies that he
Yeah.
get reverse put back into like some of the stuff.
Probably that one.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They put like Fitz and Simmons and I think put Agent May in the comics, even just in small capacities. But that's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like that's another episode because that's a different universe at this point.
And although you can talk about
although
that.
I don't know, we'll wait until Daredevil Born Again
Oh,
because that might fold some stuff in.
Daredevil episode.
Big Daredevil episode. We don't really talk a lot, I think, in this episode about what's coming up.
Yes.
But like, woof, there's a lot to think about
Every
in that
season
regard.
in S tier, by the way, for that.
What, for the Netflix shows?
Yeah, everything.
I would agree with that. I really hope that they do flat pack in at least season 1 of everything from the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Season 2 of Daredevil, because that was still quite good, especially if they're keeping the Punisher handy. I loved the Punisher show as well.
Me too.
Punisher's
I
so
hope
good.
when he comes back, it's that show. It's not like 12, eh?
Yeah.
It's like a full 18.
Yeah, they might.
This is it.
In Daredevil, I can like with Daredevil season 2, they can pare him down a bit for Daredevil, but if they wanted to return to having another Punisher property,
I don't
especially
even
because
think he was that pared down for Daredevil.
he wasn't that pared down. I'd say like the Punisher show was still like a lot more like.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Messed
It was a
up.
level up still.
But I know he was quite good. Like, in Daredevil season 2, he really was just everything you wanted out of him.
Exactly.
I think Punisher's really fared quite well.
Yeah.
In the
MCU
adaptation
so
sphere,
far. Yeah.
like when they presented him in Daredevil, it was so like I think it was just solid. They really didn't really skip a beat on it.
And I mean, the casting of Daredevil has maybe been perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
Charlie Cox.
I could see argue Foggy casting maybe not being great. Eldon Henson. I could see maybe arguing Electro not being great, but everything else
I
couldn't
liked
see.
Eldon Henson, but I can, from my mental image of Foggy in the comics, he doesn't exactly look and sound that way, but it's one of those ones where you could push me into accepting Eldon as it, you know what I mean? Again, Daredevil was just that good.
I didn't have a problem with him personally.
No, I'm not saying you're
But I
it's
could
just
see
more like I get what...
if we were going to argue, I'd say those were the weakest.
Yeah, compared to the
performances.
rest, like, yeah, I mean, Deborah Antwall, aye, Vincent D'Onofrio, 100%. I don't know, I really like, I think it's Elodie Young.
Elodie Young.
Yeah, I really liked her as Electra.
Me too.
I mean, when I picture Electra, sometimes I picture old Electra with the big hair.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the only thing where there's, like,
Bandana.
a disconnect. My two images of Electra are, like, Electra Daredevil from, like, the current comics and, like, the humongous hair Electra. The white suit.
The white suit?
Aye.
Okay.
I honestly think I get that from action figures because
Probably.
I haven't actually read much of anything of Daredevil. You're a Daredevil guy, like, thick and thin. You're
Yeah, so
literally...
Spidey, Doc Strange, Daredevil, and Doc Strange and Daredevil are constantly fighting.
I want to see how that battle goes, But yeah, anything else about Guardians as well? I think the visuals were really good.
Visuals are great, yeah.
And in a a sort of a complex time for effects work in the
I'd
MCU.
say so. I think this is maybe, I don't know if they were treating it differently because they had that whole thing where they were overworking everyone. This might have been at the tail end of it or the start of it, I'm not sure.
And I want to know who's maybe got authority in that, right?
Yeah, and
like,
it could have been a studio that just wasn't overworked.
Yeah, or like did James Gunn manage it? Was he just better at managing it than like other like, directors? That I know there was a whole thing about they're trying to say that the reason they fired Victoria Alonso, I think, was because she was the one overworking. I'm pretty sure it's Victoria Alonso. There was that woman that got fired recently, and there was like 2 reasons that they were given, and I remember they tried to say...
Was that a bit scapegoat, do you think?
I think it's a lot of it scapegoat. I know. Victoria Alonso was the president of physical, post-production, visual effects and animation.
Right, well, guessing, yeah.
Yeah, I think some people were saying like, oh, it's because of everything that happened with animation.
Right.
But then there was also, I think, the reason Disney gave, because I think that first reason is not as legal. Like, it's not like they can just say, hey, you weren't really good at your job, that means that you're fired.
Yeah.
I think the reason Disney were giving is because she apparently had like a contract with, I think it was the spin-off of Yellowstone.
Right.
She had like an interfering contract.
1986 or something.
Disney were like, yeah, it was. I remember, it was a company or a show that had like numbers in them. The point is that they were like, you're like breaking your no-compete clause or something like that. Like you're supposed to be on this, but you're on that.
That does seem a bit sus.
It's the whole thing's a bit like, you know, and I give Disney a lot of leeway, but when stuff like this comes up, I'm like, Disney, what are you up to?
Yeah.
Like, and then, you know, I since we last talked, since Ant-Man, the whole thing with Disney Plus happened. The purge of Disney Plus.
Subscribers, yeah.
Well, they were hemorrhaging subscribers, and then they were like, yeah, we're going to like delete a bunch of stuff so we can just take back tax money.
Yeah.
And there's just no good answer to that. Like, there's no way Disney can do that and look good in my eyes, because it's...
I don't know how Disney don't just have an endless stream of money. I feel like they do.
I
feel like it shouldn't matter.
I don't even... You'd think they would. Yeah. But then they're doing stuff, you know, it might be like a higher level of finance than we understand.
Maybe, yeah.
Where it's like...
And we are by no means business, like...
I'm a business tycoon. I am not a business tycoon.
Yeah.
I
can't add and subtract.
When you look at like how Iger's came back in, and then he immediately commissioned like things that will make money. He's like, we're gonna do Frozen 3, we're gonna do Toy Story 5, we're gonna do like no, it wasn't Incredible, Inside Out 2.
It's like IP, known, proven.
Like this is just
money.
like, I know we're gonna make money if we do this, so let's just do it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like, maybe they're looking at it in terms of not how much money they actually have, and more the trend of like, right, well, Chapek did some stuff that really fucked up like the actual balance of the money flow.
Yeah.
So we need to just do stuff like, we'll make a bunch of tax back by cutting all like R.I.P. Willow and like R.I.P. the World's Gone to Jeff Goldblum, which was insanely good, because that'll just get some money back. We'll throw out a bunch of stuff we know will make money.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to understand it, even though I'd like to, but I'm loath to not trust them.
Yeah.
Because as you say, there's no way Disney don't just make infinite money.
Yeah, that's point now.
Is it really that they're sinking so much into so much?
I don't know. I mean, they might have just so much in the works.
They cut like Star Cruiser as well. Like they're clearly looking at things. It's like, how much does this work? But then they're making the bad decisions in the first place. Star Cruiser is cool, but was a bad decision.
Is it the problem that Iger's come in and now Iger has to fix up the previous regime, which has things already rolling?
It does seem like that. That's what I'm trying to hope it now, because I don't want to just immediately get angry at Iger, because Iger seems good at just getting it done and getting it sorted. He came in after
what years it was, but I think Iger had a good run, right?
I'd say Iger's run was really good. No, you will find reasons to critique him, but I mean, coming out of the Michael Eisner years, Eisner was like, he was like weird, you know. I think earlier on in Iger's career, I think we all used to think that Michael Eisner was just like the devil.
Right.
And if you look at Michael Eisner's history, he did do things that did actually help. He oversaw things that were like actually really good for the company.
Right.
He definitely made a lot of just bad, questionable decisions as well. So when Chapek came in, a lot of people were like, oh, maybe Eisner wasn't that bad, because Chapek's like just evil and he just keeps cutting things that we like and making life difficult. I'm pretty sure it was Chapek that messed up like the payment in the parks. Like they were really underpaying the parks workers, who, I'm not going to lie, I think even under Iger they weren't getting amazingly paid. But I like to think that, you know, Chapek was quite bad. Eisner wasn't really great. Iger seems to, he's like the fixer in a lot of ways. He's came in after two bad regimes, and he's just like, I need to get this back on track. And sometimes that's all I think we really need. I don't want for much. I don't need them to like break the mold.
Right.
I liked having Iger because you could rely that Iger was going to try his best to do the right thing. And I felt like we were making good progress under Iger.
Right.
It's not as perfect. Anyone can just jump on and like debate me on this, and I won't even like fight it, because I'm not super wise to all like the things that these people have done. But just going off of what I do know about what these bosses have done, it just seems that way.
Yeah.
I'd like to think Iger will bring things back in line, even if, you know, things are a bit like, you know, the Disney Plus thing is like, the Marvel VFX things are like, But then again, who do you blame? Like, was it Victoria Alonso's fault? Was it like an individual basis thing? Was it an individual company thing?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really honestly think the VFX in Marvel got that bad.
No.
There was
a couple moments where I was like, that's a noticeable dip. Like, I will point out to the end credits in Doctor Strange 2, I could tell it wasn't finished.
I, for some reason, always accept that. I think it's because it's just I'm the worst.
Yeah.
But, when I look at it, I get it. Like,
that looks a bit choppy. That could have used like a month or
it's
something.
It's a bit strange and uncanny.
Yeah.
She-Hulk had a couple of moments I think were a bit uncanny, but...
I can't remember it as well, though.
Well, I remember She-Hulk being better than we thought. I remember She-Hulk in the trailers was a bit... and then people were like, oh, she looks horrible, fuck Disney.
Yeah, well, I didn't think She-Hulk herself was an issue, really, no.
There was like a couple of shots in the trailers where I'm like, I'm looking at this and you can tell me it's bad, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably bad.
Yeah.
But I remember the show came out and it was just like, I didn't know it was a thing. I just remember there were a couple of moments in She-Hulk that again weren't bad, but he just pushed the line more than I was used to. But then, is that a budget thing? She-Hulk's probably not got as big a budget as Guardians 3.
Of course, yeah, of course.
So it's fascinating. It's quite fascinating, but it's not for us to talk about because we're also just not that smart.
Yeah.
We'll do a business episode. We'll do a bunch of research. Do like Bob Iger behaviour. Just like what does he do? So Guardians 3.
Guardians 3. I don't really think I've got anything else to add. I've got one wee kind of bit on. You said you kind of trust on James's writing more now. I would agree. Because I think killing people is an easy out if you're trying to emotionally resolve something.
Yes.
And for him to do the opposite, just keep everyone alive and give them kind of fulfilling resolutions to their arcs at this point and just see them on their way was really good. And I'm excited for what he does next, obviously, because it's still in the comic book realm. But I have more kind of faith and trust that it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
After seeing 3.
I think I never really, James Gunn, my problem is that sometimes you don't want to get too trustworthy of people because then you get a Taika Waititi moment.
Yeah, but that's not our fault. We can still trust them, and we could expect that.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's like Kevin Feige and stuff, trust them too much.
Yes, I suppose I mean more like, you don't want to valorize people,
Yeah, well, you want to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you were to trust them too much, you might compromise that.
Yes. So that's why, I was like, it's not like I ever had an issue with him, but I think I was more like, I'm sure this will be good because it's James Gunn. I wasn't like, I'm sure this is going to do this or that and this perfectly because it's James Gunn. I was like, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'll see what it does to me. And then I come out of it and I go, right, I can now look back and I'm like, yep, I was right. James Gunn was good, and here's what he did right.
Yeah.
I think it's once you have the evidence, you can look back and say like, here's what the director did right here.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to like act it like it's the pit of the world, but what Thor 4 did for me with Taika was like, maybe there's an element of like maybe I gave him too much mental leeway.
Yeah.
Maybe I just assumed I really like Thor 3. Like Jojo Rabbit's really good, stuff like that. And maybe I just assumed it would just be fine.
Yeah.
And then just was like, oh god, this is bad. Maybe I should have just been like, maybe it would be good, watch the movie and then judge it, although it was bad. So I would have always judged it bad anyway.
Yes.
I know it's probably the thing we've talked about the most in this, but I think so much about, just as you say, how it resolved everything really well.
Yeah.
Every character went in a direction that was like good for that character. I'm interested about how it was like Star-Lord will return.
Yeah.
I'm like, do they have a thing for him?
Well, I thought, obviously a lot of them are just not going to come back, or they're going to come back in like little bits.
Yeah.
But I really thought that Chris Pratt would be out.
Yeah.
It seemed like
I'm surprised
he would be out. But I think if any of them were going to return, he'd be the most likely to. In the sense that like he doesn't seem like, it seems like he'd play ball. Anyway.
That's a good way of putting it. Aye.
So
I think I think Drax being out is the most likely.
Yeah.
I think Nebula seems like she's also going to be out, which is weird because I actually thought Karen Gillan would have.
Her too. I thought she would come back. She might.
Yeah, she was one of the ones who I was like, I don't think she'll die.
Kinda,
I think she was locked in.
She might still kind of show up.
Yeah, maybe she's in a spot where it's like I'm fine with the Guardians movies being done and me being out of that team, but like she'll always happily be the one that's like, oh, we need to do a space thing. Let's get Nebula in.
Might be a case of time in her career where maybe she's getting more roles now and she's like, I can take a wee break here, 4 years maybe, and then I can come back when they need me again.
Yeah, I think I'd be happy with that because I really like Karen Gillan.
Because I have no doubt everyone, even David Bautista and stuff, is going to show up in Secret Wars. I have absolutely no doubt in that.
Yeah, well, let's, as we wrap up, we can jovial. I saw a thing that
Reddit.
Yeah, I sort of sift through the Reddits, and I'm not going to talk too much about stuff, especially unconfirmed stuff, but the now prevailing rumour is Secret Wars is to be split in two. With a battle world phase in the middle, which is something that that's too much because that's what we want. You've been keen on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm keen on it as well since you told me, but you were the one who brought it to me.
Between Infinity War and Endgame, we had 2 movies.
It was 2 movies. Was Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel?
How long time was it? Real lifetime? Was
Real
it a year?
lifetime?
Yeah.
I think it was
Was it even a year?
I think it was 2 years.
Was it 2 years? It couldn't have been 2 years.
It had to have been a full year, surely.
It was at least a year, because at that point we were getting 2 or 3 movies a year.
Infinity War's 2018, Endgame's 2019, so it's at least a year.
I think if you'd done 2 years and you had like 4 movies of Battleworld between it,
I would take
That's
like
hype.
I would like 2 or 3 movies in a show.
I would understand if they do a year and they do 2 movies in a show. I would understand that because that's less of a sell.
Yeah, because you
that
don't want to
sounds
leave
awesome.
it too long. But it's we've talked extensively just on ourselves about like how they have to give Battleworld some attention if they really
This
want
is
to do
like-
Battleworld.
Because Secret Wars has the potential to be much bigger than anything Thanos done.
Yes.
And it's gonna be fucking wild when they do it. So if
People are gonna be
if they fully go for it and have 2 parts to the Secret Wars story and Battleworld in the middle, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's fucking crazy.
Here's the thing. We'll not talk too much about the majors of it all, but so Kang's obviously was going to be in Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that was going to be his movie and he would be dealt with in that?
What do you mean?
So do you think Kang was going to be a big deal for
So
Secret
you
Wars?
think now Kang Dynasty is Secret Wars Part 1 now?
Well,
kind of.
No, so I always thought that Kang. I don't. A lot of people always. There's been a lot of discussion about how they would do Secret Wars.
Right, okay.
Right. We're gonna have a Kang Dynasty and then we're gonna have a Secret Wars. Let's just
yes.
go with what we're being told officially now.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
is Kang Dynasty then Secret Wars.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like maybe Kang Dynasty is the Kang movie.
Right.
Where we sort of deal with Kang.
Right, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
So what exactly does Secret Wars?
Have to do with anything.
Yeah,
Where
like
is that
who
coming
incites Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Like obviously we've got the incursions happening.
Yep.
And they're sort of gearing up for that. Is like Doctor Doom going to be there?
I don't actually think so.
I don't think so anymore either.
Because I just don't think we'd have enough time to set up. Because Fantastic Four comes out in 2024
Yes.
and Secret Wars
think-
happens in 2025, right?
2024, 2025.
It might be 25 and 26.
Yeah,
it's a year apart anyway.
There's definitely a year between them.
And it could show up in like one other movie maybe. And for them to fully set up like reasons for it to happen, I don't think you've got enough time.
I don't think, unless you had
Unless
Doctor
it's
Doom
like-
be the main person of a movie.
Unless it's Doctor Doom from Incursion World 5 or whatever, he comes in from a different multiverse and he's got reasons already, something like that. But that's a...
For the gravity of Secret World though, where it sits as like the big event in like phase 6.
You'd want him to be your Doctor Doom.
Not just that, but you'd want him to not just, like, you'd want setup. You'd want a concrete... Unless it was really well written.
Yeah.
Like the idea of Doctor Doom just being like, I'm Doctor Doom from another dimension.
Yeah.
And I hate all of you. Boom, and he smashes the
Works
multiverse together.
because it's Doctor Doom, but also doesn't work because it's Doctor Doom.
Yes, and also I feel like, how would that work for the regular audience?
Right, yeah.
But
Who's
you
not
see, for
seen any of
us,
these movies.
it's people who see the movies, who read
Yeah.
comics, who know the characters.
The problem is though with that is that going into a Secret Wars movie, Marvel can't accept that you've not seen anything before. They'd have to accept
Yeah.
that you know something.
Well, I mean more like
Well,
like Doctor Doom as a character and like the
Right,
Secret
yeah.
Wars event in the comics. Well, we know
right.
enough about the characters and the event and all that
Yes,
to
yeah.
fill the gaps if needs be.
Yeah.
Even though I'd probably be unhappy about it because I like, I'm aware of like what I'm being shown in a movie and
Yeah,
I'd
of
like to be
course.
led.
Yeah.
But if let's say your only exposure to Doctor Doom is fucking Fantastic Four with Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
which is a nightmare movie for hell,
Or it's the other ones with like 2004.
which they're very old now.
Yeah.
Not as bad as the Michael B. Jordan one, because
question.
Doctor Doom is a fucking asshole crash test dummy in that movie. I loathe that movie.
Oh,
Thank God Michael B. Jordan was in Black Panther.
what a W. in
Do you know what I
there.
mean? Now we need to get Miles Teller, we need to rescue the rest of them and just put
Jamie
them in something
Bell.
good. Kate Mara.
Kate Mara when
She's
Mara.
good. She's a good actress.
She is?
Put her in something not bad. Put her in a not cheap wig for reshoots. Yeah, the point is, yeah. So are people, if they just had Doctor Doom show up, would people really understand that? That's why I think,
don't think
if
so.
you wanted to put Doctor Doom in it,
Yeah.
there has to be a lead in. He has to be a big part in a previous property.
Yeah.
Kind of has to be a Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I can't you can make him work in certain things, but realistically, I don't really think there's any movie or character property coming up right now.
There's 2 he works in, and we've had one already that introduced Namor. Like, he works
Yes.
perfectly in the Black Panther world.
Yes.
And he works perfectly in the Fantastic Four world.
he could
Show
fuck
up in
about
America.
Doctor Strange,
Well, I guess, yeah.
but then that's like I feel
Then
like
you're leading him in a different way.
Yeah,
because
if
you
you're
introduce
going-
him magically.
Yes.
And he is kind of that.
he is like a
but he's
magic
not as
user,
big.
but he's not like a magic person.
Exactly. He's more science, but he understands.
He's more Iron Man than Doctor Strange, I
I'd say
feel. He
so,
just
yeah.
would. There's a way to link him to Doctor Strange.
Yes, which
but
would be awesome. to
I
see.
wouldn't be. It would be awesome, but I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do it, I think he has to be Fantastic
I would
Four.
then think, he's much more a Doctor Strange character
Yes.
than a Fantastic Four character.
Yes, and again, it's how you explain this to the regular audience as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Like we can look at it and go, oh, well, Doctor
What's the
Doom does.
optics on that?
Doctor Doom does magic.
Yeah.
We know why he's in a Doctor Strange movie, but
Yes.
why isn't he in a Fantastic Four movie?
Aye, but so it's Kang more than likely. How we resolve Kang now is a different question.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think they're probably gonna recast and then just just explain it away as a different variant.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I mean, considering what's happened and how Kang is as a character, I'd be fine. I've heard that apparently it's just too late to fix Loki season 2.
Aye, I could assume.
Apparently he's going to have Loki, yeah. Obviously he was in the post credits.
Yeah, of course.
Quantumania. But I would be fine if they just recast and moved on. You know, it's like Rhodey. It's like Don Cheadle.
Exactly, we'll just kind of.
It's me, I'm here, get used to it.
It might be. It probably is going to be bad because Jonathan Majors was incredible as Kang.
He was a good actor, yes. I don't want to give him too much credit, but yeah, like we can't like lie and pretend. I didn't watch that movie thinking he was quite good.
Yeah.
So it fucking sucks that he's just a bastard. You know, if that's how it is, which you know. Oh. But I don't know. I think I'm like, how do they resolve a Kang Dynasty situation in a way?
Straight into Secret Wars.
Yes. Like, because if it's going to be the Kang Dynasty,
how lead up then?
I'd have to be like a straight lead in, but there's a good few movies and shit between.
Well, if you look at what we've done already, Infinity War's like a lead into Endgame in a way that the villain wins.
Yes.
Kang Dynasty, I'd assume would be that.
But there's a gap between Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Is that where Fantastic Four is?
I believe so. I believe Fantastic Four's the start of Phase 6.
Right.
So like, for the amount of time they've tried to put between them,
I
can't imagine it Dynasty ending in a way that's like, alright, oh god, Secret Wars about to happen.
Yeah.
Unless it was very much like...
You feel like the threads are there before that happens, before Kang Dynasty happens. You
Yeah.
feel like you know Secret Wars is going to happen before that. Like you can see it on the horizon.
Phases. So it's...
Do we have Doctor Strange 3 before that? There's nothing announced, right?
I don't think they've
But
actually
there's still
confirmed.
more movies to announce between that, right?
Yes, there's a bunch of unannounced things in like Phase 5 and 6.
So we could have Doc 3, because that's where we know one incursion is occurring. He's going straight to that.
Well, yeah, he's going to the Dark Dimension, he's going to be fucking about with like...
Yeah,
I mean,
going
he's
straight
basically
there.
the one who's brought it up.
Other than that, I don't think anyone else. Maybe Captain America has something to do with it, but I really doubt that. I think he's just doing Earth stuff right now. Spidey's on his own. He's no messing with it.
Oh, okay.
Thor could maybe get involved.
Hang on.
Go on.
No, scratch the record. Everything I've said's wrong.
Lies and slander.
Kang Dynasty's May 2025, Secret Wars is May 2026.
So there's nothing between it.
Well, there might be one or two
Fantastic
things,
Four's
but
before it. I thought Fantastic Four was
Fantastic Four is listed right now as before it.
November
It's November 2024 is Deadpool 3.
Yes, we know that.
Fantastic
so 5
Four
is Fantastic Four November then.
is February 2025.
Fantastic Four?
Which is 2-3 months before Kang Dynasty.
Oh, okay, so before. I don't really know, to be honest. Does anyone know? Only the gods at Marvel know.
who can tell? Only Kevin Feige knows, and I haven't been able to hog tie that bastard so far.
See when it's all over and they can like tell everything to everyone, we're all going to be like so jealous because he just knew.
He just knew, man. The guy is sat there like
With his hat
maliciously.
collection.
He is like Doctor Doom.
You know. Do you think he's got hats from movies that haven't been announced yet?
Yes.
Definitely,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
And they're just sitting there.
He's got like hats for movie reviews. Do you know what I mean? When they announced like Squirrel Girl, and he just
The
like
Blade hat. Oh man.
Like-
Blade's a movie. What's
Blade may allegedly be a movie.
that? Blade's a movie.
Blade might come out, Blade might not. You know, I'm very much just thinking in the immediate future. I'm very much like Captain America 4 because I really like Captain America.
There's a Secret Invasion soon.
Secret Invasion is very soon. Marvels is very soon.
Yep.
Apparently Thunderbolts has been delayed. They've had to delay Thunderbolts because of the writer's strike.
Right.
Which
Echo got delayed as well, right?
I believe it got slightly bumped.
Daredevil got delayed too.
Daredevil did get delayed. I'm fine with it. I'm solidarity with the writers.
I'd rather take your time, yeah.
Yeah.
And sort everything out.
Yeah.
Who are we waiting on? We're waiting on the Directors Guild has got it kind of sorted, right?
I heard
They
that they
get
were.
an agreement or
I heard
something.
that the Directors Guild was in talks.
It's to do with like the streaming right, didn't it?
There's a lot of
some
stuff like
weird
that.
language
I think
thing.
streaming rights is like a thing. I think AI is a concern.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't know actually. I heard it was something to do with like the language in the contracts. So a director's like listed as a person, but a writer's a writer, so that could be an AI sort of thing, something like that.
Yeah.
Is my understanding, very basic understanding. Might be wrong completely.
I watched like one video about it and it was very good. It was the video by Kayla Says, but I also I'm not wise enough to understand it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I understand it in a moral capacity.
Aye, of
Like
course.
they just deserve
Get paid
better
what you
treatment, better
deserve.
pay than that.
Yeah.
But I'm not really. I don't claim to be smart enough to really understand the intricacies of the deal.
Me too.
And that's modern society. You know, it's just easier to believe that I'm sure the corporations are buggering over
We
the
do
writers.
live in a society.
I heard that there's something about how animators get paid and credited so much less compared to regular movies, and it's wild because
much more work.
well, it's Across the Spider-Verse, which we're not talking about here because
It's
it's into you, but
probably
it's exceptionally
Making
incredible,
gangbusters money.
making very good money, exceptionally incredible movie.
Yeah.
Got amazingly god tier movie with literally S tier all of these Marvel shit. It's Marvel MCU.
S tiers for Spider-Verse, right?
But That's obviously as good money, like top rated film on Letterboxd, just so well done. And I remember someone who works in like animation was like, yeah, and like we get paid like a fraction compared to like other people. We get like a fraction of the credit, and it's mental.
It's like when they credit like the creators, for instance, and they get like a pittance.
Yeah.
And they don't get any back kick off it. It's just that one payment or something.
And then do you know what? MCU's get like that.
Of course, yeah. A lot of them are. Sometimes, I mean, I'd like it if I was a creator. I'd be like, yo, give me a cameo.
Yeah, I'd like to be involved.
Or something.
I'd like to be. I mean, I'd like to have some present influence. I'm not. It was funny when they put Dan Slott's like name on a truck in She-Hulk, but then I'm like, I kind of wish Dan Slott was also the driver of the truck.
Yeah,
you know,
something like that.
That's not perfect, definitely not.
I think I didn't watch the cameo video for Spider-Verse, so I won't spoil much in here.
Right,
but I think there's a couple writers show up in the movie which I missed completely.
I saw one or two. Not just people who worked on it in general as well. This isn't so much a spoiler, but like obviously there's like the Lord Miller logos at the start.
Yeah.
Apparently one of the ones you see are the ones for Cocaine Bear.
Oh right, nice.
Yeah. Cocaine Bear, look for that episode soon.
Oh man.
Okay, and addendum 2, because we did realise that after 45 minutes of rambling, we did not in fact put Guardians on the tier list.
Yes. To our shame, our embarrassment.
To our embarrassment, to our shame. There's tears being shed. I think immediately goes in A tier. I think it goes higher than Guardians 1 because we said it was better than all the other Guardians.
Yes. We're in A tier here, is the question.
I think
really.
Very high.
I think so.
I'd put it above WandaVision, I think.
Yes, I'd put it ahead of... I think it goes to top 80, to be honest.
Even higher than Doctor Strange, because you really like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think I think I do agree with that. I think so. Did I like it more than Loki? I think I did like it more than Loki, to be honest. It was, in terms of just fulfillment. Even if individual moments in like Loki and Wakanda Forever and that would like stand out to me as better in certain ways.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a more complete, more compelling movie.
Yeah.
I can't fault that, Sometimes I have to put quality of the craft higher than personal enjoyment. That's why I didn't put Ant-Man the Wasp in S tier, even though, because I there's a lot of moments in that movie I adore, but I have to admit that overall the movie's not like as great an experience as like other movies.
Right.
So yeah, you know what?
I would agree.
I will give you the top A tier. I don't know.
Good.
Should it go in S though?
There's an argument for it.
Even
I don't think so though. I think I look at our S tiers and it's just unabashed love.
For us personally as well. Yeah. For us personally, and I'm not saying I don't love Guardians 3 or Guardians as a concept, but what is an S tier is just stuff that we just watch and we're like, this is incredible. This is like
it's like we knew already what was there in S tier. This one hasn't broke into it.
Yeah.
But it's
but it gets an absolute crown. Yeah. The runner-up crown for being at the top of A because it is a complete, well-done package.
Yes.
Yeah, so top A tier for that one, I think.
Top of A.
Well deserved. Well, I think that was an excursion of merit, Graham.
It was an excursion. We did manage to tier list all of the movies and shows.
It was a tier list of all the movies and shows.
Quite happy with that list, to be honest.
I'm quite proud of ourselves. I've managed to make some less biased statements. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a lot lower than I thought it would be, that I've talked about it out loud. Doctor Strange 2, a lot lower than I would have it in realisticness. I'm sure if me and you were sat alone and we were told to rank it personally, this would be different. But actually, that was the original plan, but I think doing it like this was good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because it allows us to like meld ideas and act like real people talking.
Discussions, compromises, crazy.
Scenes. Right, well, thank you for joining us in this excursion, as I say, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I hope that was illuminating. It probably wasn't, and if you're still here, go to bed, get some water.
Get some water. Maybe leave us a like or something, a rating.
Maybe leave us a rating. Whenever we post this, we'll try and get it out where we can. But we'll see how it handles. Like I said at the top, this is just a fun, chill little experience for all of us.
Yeah.
So we'll sit it down, and if you want to give it any attention, give it any attention, share it, all that. But yeah, thank you for joining us if you joined us this long.
Yes.
If you're not like my mum, I doubt my mum's listening to this.
I don't think they could sit through it all.
Yeah, I was going to say, not that like she just probably doesn't care this long about these movies. Maybe my dad.
Maybe, yeah.
He's probably listening in the car. Hi, Dad. But yeah, thank you very much, folks. We'll try and sort of do this on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder what it'll be. Oh.
Morbius,
the Morbs. I can't wait for him at Morb.
The Morb behavior.
Oh, that'll be so good. Have sex, success.
Have sex, excess. I'm doing the dance, you can't see it. Where does Morbius rank on the MCU tier list?
Definitely S.
S tier, the best one. Morbius tier.
Morbius
S
tier.
for Morbius.
Get its own tier. Yes, definitely. It's in the Matt Smith tier.
The Matt Smith tier. Oh, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.
Scenes is a fan-created podcast. We have no affiliation with any of the brands, studios or properties mentioned. All views are our own.
Produced and edited by my partner, Rebecca.
Music is provided by Epidemic Sound, and the cover artwork was commissioned by Rhiannon Kagoe on Twitter or Instagram.
Okay, nice one.